All right, we're live, and it's just me and the bear sitting down, having a good convo, as it were. We were just talking about pretzels and how I'm going to apologize. I'm probably going to eat a pretzel, and it's going to be very loud for everybody. But I'm a big fan of pretzels. I don't know what it is, and I think it's probably the salt, obviously, like the flavor of it, but but I like the twists. I don't want to have sticks. Like I just, and like some people like they get those like the big giant sticks, and I don't like those because it's like it's too much like of the breading stuff. I just want to. And when I was a kid, I used to say like these are butterflies, and I bite the wings off of them because I was apparently a serial killer when I was young or something. So I don't know.
Did you rip the wings off of butterflies too?
No, I mean I never did. I mean I can remember being a kid and like maybe stomping on a cricket or something, But even as a kid, I always kind of felt bad about like killing a beetle or something. That was like I just felt kind of bad about it. I remember I mean like I remember I remember like when I got my BB gun. I remember shooting crickets with my BB gun and thinking that was cool. And like you had to like get it right up next to it, obviously, to shoot them. But then I kind of realized that, yeah. And then I kind of realized that was probably like an awful thing to do. Yeah, I mean, like if it's like a fly or if it's a mosquito that are bugging me, bugs. Then you know what you signed your death warrant there, but but just like like you see a spider or something, it's like I don't know. I mean, it's very cliche, but like either my daughter or my wife will see a spider in the house and they'll freak out about it, and just because they're creepy looking, right? But I'll just pick it up and throw it outside.
Yeah, I'm not fond of spiders myself. Spiders and snakes. Jen doesn't like crickets.
I guess crickets are just filthy as heck. Just like they have all kinds of parasites and worms on the inside. So like if you see your cat eating them and stuff, you should stop them.
Yeah,
I mean, makes sense. I mean, they are filthy little creatures. I heard about this, and I never heard of anybody doing it, but I've heard of people that like have said that like you live in an apartment building and like your landlord is a piece, and kind of whatever, and so you're gonna move out and maybe they're trying to screw you over for your security deposit or something, and I've heard like people said like you go and you catch a bunch of crickets and you unscrew one of your like wall sockets and take it out, and then you throw the crickets in there and throw like in a handful of cornflakes and then just screw the thing back on. The last thing you do when you leave. And so then they're like, where's that cricket noise coming from? And he just threw like 20, 30 crickets in there, gave them a bunch of food to eat. Now they can just sit there and grow and reproduce. I've never done that, but I've heard that like, the final like get back on your landlord for that. You ever have a crummy landlord? You ever have a crummy landlord?
I've been lucky now.
Yeah?
I've been pretty lucky.
Yeah.
I've had a landlord as family. That's no fun, but yeah.
Well, like, what do you mean? Like, you live in your parents' basement? You just paid them $100 to live there or something, or what?
Nah, we lived my wife's stepbrother. We rented a place from him, so it was like it was kind of awkward at times,
Well, I suppose. I mean, like, if you're trying to, if you're trying to, I don't know, do your thing. It's one of those things where they say never go into business with family.
Yeah.
Just because it rarely turns out well. I remember I worked. Go ahead.
I don't mean we stayed at their house. I mean, it was a separate place. It was like it was on their land, but it was like a separate house. But it was like if you needed something done, it was awkward at times, you know.
I always thought like I worked for a pizza place in my 20s. They were run by two brothers, and man, they would like get into arguments and just be fighting.
Yeah.
Like screaming and yelling at each other, and you're like an employee, and what do? You know, you're just sitting there listening to these two guys just like nearly coming to blows over like directions and things that they're deciding on. You're just like, ugh. That was like, I'm just gonna go out in the parking lot and hope I don't have to call the cops.
I ran a construction company with my uncle, and I'll never do that again. That was a horrible experience, you know, because I'm not a salesman, and he handled that end of it. And you know, they'll fuck you over in a minute. The family, you know, or at least that family. Yeah.
Anthony's here.
Anthony's here.
I am. Oh, I am.
Hey, I think a little later on, Luca from
the second floor.
No, he does board game designs, but he's also a board game reviewer guy. He's going to come on. He's got some Kickstarter going on. He has to come on and just talk about it. I don't know when he's going to show up or not, but supposedly he's going to be here a little bit later. What?
He's very Italian.
He's very Italian?
And from Canada at the same time.
Well,
he's got a Canadian Montreal accent. For people watching who don't know who Luca is the guy behind the camera at Bored to Death TV. His brother Giancarlo is the guy in front of the camera.
Didn't they do that race car game?
Yeah, I like that race car game. It was fun.
Another race car game that they're doing on Kickstarter. And it's kind of cool because they're doing it not just to make the game, but they're usually doing that to help fund the review channel also.
Oh,
interesting. It's just kind of cool. And they also have a game store in Canada called Chez Geek.
Right.
Interesting.
Interesting
if true.
I think when he shows up, in all fairness, because he is from Montreal, we should have him have to repeat everything in English and French.
Yeah.
So what else is going
on? Not much. We were just talking about pretzels, actually.
No. We've already gone off topic.
We're
already off topic.
Of all the dumb things. I don't know. Well, just, anybody play anything or read anything cool or anything like that?
What did I play? I played a bunch of cool stuff.
Was it from Cool Stuff?
No. It was from Spielworks.
Spielworks.
Oh, was it Gentes?
No, and soon to be from Capstone. It's the Colon Colony.
Oh, yeah, I don't copy that.
Which is the third game in the Cole trilogy. Originally the second game in the Cole trilogy. I really, really, really enjoyed it. So much so that I'm like upset that I played it because now I want a copy. There he is.
Hello.
Luca.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Did you just speak French?
Oui, je parle français.
Okay, we decided that any response you give us today, you have to say it in English and then follow up with French. Right after.
We don't want to get you in trouble with the authorities in Canada.
Yeah, I'm used to doing that with my Facebook posts. I don't know about doing it while I'm talking.
Well, I'm glad you could join us, man. I'm sorry, I just remembered to give you the link now, so I apologize for the wait on that. But
oh, that's cool, man. Don't worry about it. I was kind of nervous about doing it because I never really do these. So, I was thinking, you guys last time you had maybe 10 people on it or something. It was so cool. Everybody was just like chilling and.
Well, this is right before Essen, so I mean everybody's kind of like relaxed a bit. So just get it out of the way. So tell us about your game and what and talk about it. I'm gonna pull it up on the old Kickstarter and I'll do a share by screen so I can go through that and You can tell people about your stuff.
Awesome. Cool. Should I go get some components or the prototype? Well, I didn't prepare anything. I was just like,
well, aren't you a professional?
Fit right in with Alvin.
What's the name of your campaign? How about that? So while you go get components, people can look it up when they're watching.
Yeah, it's Neon Knights. Actually, yeah, let me go get some because I have a 3D printout of the little figurines, the models, the miniatures, not the dolls, the actual cars. I'll go get them. I'll be back.
Very cool.
I forgot Keith was in Philly this week. I would have met up with him or something.
Yeah, I was surprised. That's when he said that. I was like, well, why aren't you like hanging out with Barry? But I guess like the truth comes out. He doesn't like you.
Yeah, he's probably up there on business. Yeah.
Oh, he's probably up there, not wanting to spend time with you.
Yeah, probably.
So there's that then.
Yeah, I didn't even remind him that you guys are not that far. You're not that close either.
For me?
Yeah.
I'm an hour outside south of Philly. Yeah. Most of my family's still in Philly, though.
So was part of the pretzel discussion how annoying they sound on the microphone?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Part of it was how I like going to Philly for pretzels, soft pretzels.
All
Can't
right.
get them down here in Delaware.
Sorry, we can't be perfect like you, Anthony.
Well, that
Right.
perfect.
No. So anyway, I've got Neon Knights pulled up. So obviously it is a game. It's a 4X game about exploring the universe. Each of you is a Neon Knight in charge of a. I'm joking. It would appear to be a racing game.
It is a racing game, yeah. Set in 2086, the future. So there's no space. You were close, but there's no space. Yeah, so it's set in the future, and basically there's a tournament where the people who live in the basically the lower city where a lot of the poor people are, and the only way to get out of there is by entering this tournament, which is the Extreme Racing League. And there's a whole comic book that we worked on that's going to come with the game, a digital version, and hopefully with the stretch goal we'll get a printed version, so that would be cool. But it explains the whole story and why you're in this tournament. And basically what you're trying to do is win the tournament so that you could get to the higher city and become a Neon Knight, which is the drivers for the corporate CEOs and stuff like that, kind of like a bodyguard drivers.
Ooh, it's a big box.
Yeah.
It says so right there.
There's going to be a lot of stock in there, yeah. A lot of stock. I have components here, so I'll show you guys a bit. Like there's going to be a lot of tiles because it's I don't know if you see that, but it's a modular racing board. So you're going to have these tiles and you're going to like form your track and stuff. And there's going to be a lot of those punch out boards, and the player boards are actually really big too. This is the actual size, and there's 6 of them for each player, and they're both reversible. So those are going to be really big too.
I'm getting an F-Zero feel from this, like that. Yeah, and then like
a lot. Like I started F-Zero was I think one of my first racing games. Then there was like Wipeout on PlayStation, and the Mario Karts, obviously. And I still love video games. Like
Wipeout was so good.
It was so fast.
Oh. I mean, I had a friend who actually like invested in like an ultra like controller rigs for just so he could get the drifting and the turning for Wipeout X. Like wasn't it like Wipeout XL was like the really really fast one that was like ridiculous. Like you just didn't have.
Yeah, that was for the fans that were complaining, and they were like, "Oh, we need more speed." So they made the XL one, and it was crazy stuff. And yeah, like I don't know, that's what I grew up on, and there was that game that came out a long time ago, well, a while back, called Russian Crush, which was a board game that was kind of similar to that, and I really liked it. And there hasn't been a game out there ever since Russian Crush that came out. So I was like, maybe the market is in need for another one of these games.
Very cool. So like, tell us what's the mechanisms? How does the game play?
Well, this is the board. This is the actual like Well, it's really big. I don't know if I can fit it on the screen, but
Well, it's got to be big if it's going in that big box.
yeah.
Yeah.
So the mechanics are you basically start off with a car. So this would be like your car basically, and you got parts that you can install at the bottom over here. So you got the brakes, tires, engines, and turbos. I'm looking for them now here. So let's say, these are the tires. And since it's a orange part, it would go like so under the orange part of your car. So you got 4 parts basically on your car. And then you have sponsors that are going to give you money. You have these skill cards. These are skill cards that you put on your drivers. So every game, your driver is going to be different. They're implants that give you focus or ambition and things like that. They give you special abilities on the track. And even out of the track, you could have like implants to be a good negotiator, which reduces prices of parts and stuff like that. There's weapons, obviously, that you install in your car. So yeah, if you look at all the components there, those are the sponsors. So you got the Bulletproof, which is a company, the Dashboard Electro company. Those are the 4 parts over there. And basically, you're taking 7 actions per round, and then after that, you go on the racetrack and you race the car that you built during those 7 actions. So it's a week. So from Monday to Saturday, every day you take an action, which could be like repair your car or get a sponsor, install parts, install a weapon, get a shield up. You're taking basically the week to prepare for the race on Sunday. And then when Sunday comes, whoever's in last place, you're going to take these tiles, create a racetrack, and you race basically on that track. You play 3 rounds, it's about 3 weeks in the game, and whoever finishes with the most victory points wins. But you could play campaign mode also, which is you could, like, at the end of the game, just put everything away and keep track of your stuff. And when you come back, you continue playing. But the skills increase by level instead of by just buying them. And that's basically it.
Super cool, man. Give me feedback. Who's so like how quick does it take to learn? Like the first time, if you all got all new players, you're gonna sit down and play a 4-player game. How long would the game last?
We calculate about 30 minutes per player. So if you're 4 players, it's probably gonna be a 2-hour game. It looks a bit complicated, but it's not at all. There's nothing written anywhere, so it's language dependent. It's also like a lot of iconography, so it keeps it simple for anybody to just jump in and play it. It's not as complicated as it looks. There's a lot going on, a lot of strategy. There's a lot of deciding which you want to do. You're going to be stuck in dilemmas. Do I buy a weapon or a shield? The player after me, he's going to get that sponsor before me. Should I get the sponsor? Or do I let him have the special ammo that does extra damage? Like, there's a lot of stuff going on, but the strategy is going to come all from the player, and the game won't play you at all. It's you taking all the actions and you doing everything.
Very cool, man. I love the artwork. It's very like, I'm getting a Shadowrun feel from the artwork. I'm also like getting a little bit of, obviously, since I just recently saw the movie, I'm getting a Blade Runner look as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and so I'm digging the look of what she did. I really like that picture that I'm on right now with the airship up there and the rain coming down and the people walking in the distance. Very, very cool. Very evocative.
Yeah, no, the comic book is gonna have that look too, that feel, that dark edginess with it, and we're hoping to get a printed copy of it. It's gonna be awesome.
Very cool, man. So
it's a 10 to 15 page comic book, so it's exciting. It's not just like
the comic book can't be 15 pages because it can't be an odd number. Just so you know,
that's true.
You're gonna have to have another page if you're gonna go. So you have to go to.
I'll put some sponsors on one of the pages.
Other than that, man, how's life? I mean,
Good,
now,
good.
now that we're done talking shop for a little bit, like what's new?
I mean, not much. There was a little hiccup today on Facebook. I sent out a MailChimp, which is like a kind of an email out to everybody.
Nope, I know exactly what MailChimp is. Yeah.
Yeah. So I sent out one of those, and I misworded something, and it came out as arrogant, and it was all over the Facebook reviewer page, and it was just like it turned into like almost like a pitchfork, like, oh, let's get him. He said something wrong.
What was about that was arrogant? What did they say that there was?
I was asking along the lines like, Board to Death is launching a game. If you don't know us by now, you're probably new to the industry or something like that. I was just like,
oh, I gotcha. Yeah,
so like it's I worded it wrong. I was just like typing it quickly. I didn't think of how people would react to it. And yeah, it came out, so I apologize, and we're all good now.
Well, and the sad thing is that people are like, for too many people, it's like, wow, not good enough. I need blood. I need to.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, it's not like we didn't hurt him enough. He didn't come online and show that he was crying or whatever. It hurt me. It was something that I had to apologize, and I learned from it, and I'm gonna just be more careful. Like people said, you should be more professional, but like I'm not really a professional. I'm just I'm a reviewer. I'm just a guy. I'm not a company. I should probably hire some marketing experts help me type better.
Yeah, I mean it's just one of those things where you can't really, not much you can do. You can't win for losing, as they say. So. But you play anything cool other than your game? You play anything? Cool lately?
Play testing this, and I got like some games. Let's see, what did I play recently? That was fun. Oh man, I'm so caught up in my own game and play testing and just like making sure everything is perfect. What did I play?
I don't know. You tell me.
I played so many games. I don't even like remember what I played or when I played them.
We've talked about that before. Like I've like walked into my local game store and I'll see a game on the shelf and I'll be like, oh, this game looks super cool. What's this all about? And I'll be like looking at the back, and then I'll start like reading about it, and then I'll be like, this sounds really familiar. And then I'll pull up my channel and it's like, oh, I reviewed this. It's just
amazing. It's amazing how many it's so crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. You're just like, yeah, it definitely the stuff just kind of runs together at some point, which
I do a lot of preview videos, so I played a lot of those. I played Panic. It's a trick-taking game. Like I think it's on Kickstarter now, if I'm not mistaken. It's a trick-taking game, like in the stock market kind of thing. It is surprising because I'm not the type that likes trick-taking games, but that one was pretty fun, and it comes with 3 different variants. So it's like buying 3 games in one, and it's for the price. I think you're getting a pretty good game if you could find it on Kickstarter.
Yeah, I played that one too. I did a video for it too. That game is like really good. I mean, as far as like being able to adjust the market and make people's cards worth nothing, that they're trying to hold on to, and just I mean it's definitely got a lot of legs to it. And like you said,
memory too. Like you got to remember stuff in that game. It's cool. I didn't have time to play any big games. Oh, I played the Folklore.
That's a great game.
Yeah, I wish I could play it more. I've played only a few missions, and I can't wait to play it again. But I mean, with the Kickstarter, it's really hard to get into it. I'd be playing it. I wouldn't be in character, and I'd be thinking about, oh wait, I should go email this guy, or oh wait, I should go on the Vikings podcast and talk with him and stuff. It's just when you're kickstarting, there's just all these things that you should do, and it's just it's hard to focus on any games.
No, I'd agree. I mean, sometimes it's like they just all it just becomes a mishmash, and it's tough to check have things come out and be right in front of you and actually stand up and take notice. That's why when I figure out my games of the year, I think it's those games that actually stand out and make me go, oh, like, because like Seventh Continent is like my game of the year. I don't think there's a game out there that I'm going to play that I've had more fun than Seventh Continent, and it's just because it's so original and new and awesome, and yeah. So
how would you figure out your game of the year? Is it the experience of the game or the game itself?
I think whenever, and I'm going to actually do a game. I shouldn't say I'm going to, because never promise, because it might not happen. But I haven't done a top 10 like games of the year now for like 3 or 4 years. So I'm gonna try to make sure I do one like middle to end of December. And I always said it has nothing to do with anything other than how much fun I have playing the game. That's my only barometer that I'm using, and that's, it doesn't matter, and nothing else matters.
That's what games are. That's what games should be. They're supposed to be fun. They're called games for a reason. Or else you're just doing math or whatever. You don't want to sit down and do homework. You want to sit down and play, have fun.
Well, for some people, doing homework is fun, but
yeah.
Nerds.
I have an accountant friend who plays to win. Like, he's part of the word game review team, and he's an accountant, and he does that for a living, and he's gonna play for win, and he's the analysis paralysis type of guy. And it's fun for him. He loves it. Like, I can't get him to play any party games or anything like that. It just won't happen. Yeah.
Pickled jalapeno egg, anyone?
Wow.
No.
Wait, jalapeno?
You enjoy it.
I missed the jalapeno part. Jesus.
You shut your mouth. I take eggs and I hard-boil them, and then I put them in a homemade brine that includes a lot of jalapenos and like other different peppers and spices. And I let them sit in that brine for like at least 2 weeks, and then the jalapeno juices and everything kind of seeps into the egg, and these are better than life.
Then he sits in his basement for 2 weeks.
You should make a contest. Have them all in a jar, and then people have to guess how many there are in a jar. And if they win that jar. You got to mail it to them or something.
That'd be fair, but I wouldn't want to mail them because I'd want to keep them. They're really good. No. All right. So hey, somebody come up with a discussion topic. Hey, you own a game store, or like you have a game store that you guys, right? That up in Canada, right?
Yeah.
Canada.
Canada. That sounds good, actually. I live in Canada. That's nice.
So what's your opinion of, like, what do you? How long has your store been open?
7 years.
7 years.
Yeah,
and
it's my brother who owned it.
And it's just barely holding on, right? It's like you can barely. No, obviously you're successful. So what's how, when people talk about how like all the online stores eat up, your people. Oh, I'm just gonna go someplace else so I can buy a cheaper game or whatever.
You gotta adapt as a store owner. You gotta adapt. You gotta figure out your surroundings, because that's your target. As a store owner, your target audience is basically where your store is and who's around you, who's gonna come and who's gonna walk in. And I obviously do the Magic tournaments. Magic is like my bread and butter. Those guys are like lifesavers. When a set comes out, it's like, oh man, how am I gonna pay the rent? And then Magic set comes out, rent is paid. So that really helps. But board games, me and my brother tend to try to pledge Kickstarters that have retailer pledges, that we try to bring in things that are like original or not always the same, like like Catan and Pandemic and Carcassonne, all the big sellers, because all the other stores around us are gonna have it. So we try to be original and have the games that not necessarily are going to be easy to find online.
What's the name of your store? Somebody just asked. What's the name of it again? They weren't here. Cardboard Congregation just asked, because you're based in Canada, but what is the name of your store?
It's called Chez Geeks. with an S. So it's
like it's SHAGIKX.
No, it's
yes.
CHEZ. No, CHEZ.
Yeah.
GEEKS.
Oh my god.
Zed.
So wait, so I was mentioning it earlier in case anyone came in late and missed it. So like one of the challenges I know you guys have, especially because are you in Montreal? You're right outside Montreal.
We're downtown Montreal, which is another bonus
Okay.
that really helps us. Yeah.
So everything they sell, they have to sell in English, with English and French rules in it.
Right. Yeah, unless it doesn't exist, then I'm okay. But if I have, for example, a Settlers Katana in French and one in English, and I sell my French one, I gotta put my English one in the stock room until I resupply my French one, so that I could take out my English one and sell that one again. So I always have to
That's
have.
crazy.
But what if somebody came in and said, "I really want it"? Would you take it out of the back and say, "I'll just like hire, just hand me"? Well, it's Canadian money, so hand me like $7,000 in Canadian, and then I'll be able to.
we're oh my god. Actually, my Kickstarter is in Canadian money, by the way. So I mean, if the price looks high, it's not. You're paying in Canadian money, so
it's like $3 American.
Yeah, my game are like super cheap. Like just back it and you won't even realize you paid something.
Yeah, for less than a cup of coffee, you can have a board game with lots of fun in it.
So you're in downtown Montreal. How many game stores are there around you? Like 3, 4?
I'd say I have like 5 major competitors, and one of them is a store and a distributor, so his prices are like really hard to compete with. But other than that, yeah, I think that's another thing. I gotta always check what they're doing and what they're selling. Like if they're having a lot of Netrunner tournaments, I'll do a lot of Vanguard tournaments. Like you have to like always have your tournaments different times than the other stores, but they're cool. I mean, we talk to each other, and at conventions we're next to each other, and it's not like a.
It's not like Pistols at Dawn or anything.
There's 2 stores that are going at it all the time, and actually one guy opened his store across the street from the other one, just to like tell him, hey, I'm here now, like, and yeah, so we're not like that.
Do you find the online market hurting you?
Or
is that not as big an issue in Canada?
I can't really tell if it's hurting me or not. It probably is, but it doesn't like when I started my store, the online was already there. That would be a good question for maybe someone who's been in
or there longer, right?
Yeah, for a long time. Then he could see the drop, that happened. I mean, I know a lot of stores are closing. A lot of stores are trying to open in Montreal, and then they end up closed. Like a few months later, I don't know if that's because of the online or it's just hard to have a store, but it's getting harder and harder for stores to open in Montreal.
Huh.
Well, that's probably more everywhere, because the problem you have, and I mentioned it last week on here, was you have a lot of people who like the idea of having their own game store. It's kind of like my friends who all like the idea of owning their own bar, and then all of them closed within less than a year, because they realize it's a business. It's not just fun. It's like being a publisher. It sounds cool. I get to make games, or I get to sell games and have game night at my store. But when you start realizing that, hey, I'm not making any money here, and I have to pay people, and I got to pay rent, and I got to pay myself, and my it's not fun anymore.
So what's your staff like? Do you have people there? Well, do you have a place where people can play, and you have people showing people how to play games and stuff like that?
John Carlos there 24/7. He sleeps in the back room.
Yeah, he's in the office always.
He's really short, so he can like just squeeze underneath the counter.
Yeah.
He's like a
No, we got tables, we got places to play and stuff, but we're actually downsizing a little bit. We're like bringing the store smaller, and next to it, my uncle's coming and he's gonna open a cafe biscotti kind of place with like very traditional Italian coffee and food and stuff. So it's gonna be cool for the gamers to come. They're gonna have less tables, but that's okay because I've never filled up my game room. It was just too big for nothing. And now they're gonna be able to get some coffee and stuff while playing. So hopefully that's gonna help. The staff, I only have 2 people, so it's me, my brother, and 2 employees. One of which was my best friend I grew up with, and someone else who's really good with the Japanese cards, like the Vanguard, the Vice Schwartz, and all that stuff. So we hired her for that, and she runs those tournaments and stuff like that.
Huh.
We're only 4. Yeah. Plus the reviews that we do, that takes a lot of our time, a lot of editing work and stuff. I do wedding videos as a side job on the weekends. I'm putting games on Kickstarter. A store will not be enough. I mean, unless you're like super big and you made it. A store, sorry to shatter anybody's dreams, it's not gonna make you any rich or anything like that. It's just if you want to do it, if it's something you like, if it's a passion, then do it. But like you can't do it for the money, and if the rent is too high, don't even bother. Like I got lucky.
It's too damn high.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of work too. Like people don't realize it, but it's a lot of work. It's you got to like deal with even publishers and stuff like that. Like sometimes you're dealing with a distributor, and then they lose the rights to that game, and you got to call another distributor, and you got to set up a distribution account with them just for that one game that you like to carry. It's a lot of work, and it's not easy.
So I have a question though now. So since you guys have been doing the reviews for so long, do you think it's easier? Well, easier. It's better for your store because you aren't just doing it just to sell product. I mean, you're doing it to sell product, but you know about the games. Like you see stuff and you like say, well, yeah, this will sell in my store, but this is not going to sell, and the game isn't that good anyway. So no one's going to walk in off the street and go, "Hey, you got that whatever game?" I won't mention one by name. That'll be nice.
You got Jab.
So at least people like your customers know about the review channel and all that you guys do all that other stuff.
Yeah, we have a big banner on in our store. It says "Bored to Death," and then underneath it, a lot of the games that we reviewed, we'll sell it. We have a library that we put a lot of the games in, so when people come, all the games we reviewed are in the library, so they could also play it and try it out. We even put so if someone does a preview video with us, we'll take the prototype and bring it to the store and have it there, and if people like it, we tell them when the Kickstarter is coming out and stuff like that. As a store owner, you got to be a gamer. You have to know your games, especially if you're gonna be a store like I am trying to be, like the store that has games that aren't super mass produced or on the mass market and stuff like that. You have to know your stuff, and then when people come in, they depend on you. They know, like, okay, I'm gonna talk to the owner there. He knows, he's played games, he's done reviews, and what's cool is that after a review, maybe a day later or 2 days later, we have clients that would call us and say, can you put that review aside once you're finished editing it and stuff like that? So, they support us that way, and we support them by giving them like the reviews, the channel, and the content for them to decide on the game if it's good for them or not.
All right, so now I have a non-gaming question.
Yeah.
Of course, it involves Giancarlo because he's not here. So, what was life like when Giancarlo was a big television star in Canada? For those who don't know, Giancarlo was a child actor on, I think it's 2 or 3 like fairly popular, like those teenage, comedy drama. It's like the Saved by the Bells of Canada.
It was Radioactive. One of them was Radioactive, and the other one was Fries with That, where he played a manager for a fast food joint.
And he's also in Journey to the Center of the Earth with Brendan Fraser.
Yeah, he was in that. Yeah, he was a scientist in the lab at the beginning and at the end of the movie. Yeah.
So what was it like though? Like at that time, was like, did you like go places, or did you go walk around and go, hey, you know that guy on Radioactive? That's my brother.
No, actually, I didn't. It was weird. Actually, some people still like when they see him, they're a bit starstruck because they kind of grew up with him. So when they walk in, they could be like his childhood or her childhood, memory. And when they see him, they're like, "Oh my God, is that him?" And then you see the clients, and they're whispering to each other and stuff. And he's cool about it. But yeah, living. I mean, he was never home anyways. He was always out there, shooting and stuff. So when he'd come home, he'd get dressed, go out and party. So that was basically his life. It didn't really change anything. He's still the same. He still played board games, and he's a big geek. So him and his theater group would do a lot of like improv and stuff like that, and a lot of GURPS. There's a lot of GURPS going around in the house. I was playing a lot of video games. I wasn't introduced to board games at a super young age. I think my first game was Fireball Island. That was my first game. Yeah, I'm sure I have it somewhere in my mom's garage somewhere. I just gotta find it.
It says George S. Goodwin III on Radioactive, played by Giancarlo. Known to like Normal Man comics and speaks fondly of his uncle, though not exactly the most intelligent member of the group, his eccentricity adds variety to the school's radio broadcasts. He has a distinct hairstyle consisting of many bleached blonde spikes, which have been known to be sharp and hard enough to pierce apples.
I've watched several episodes of it. It's different.
Yeah, in one episode, he takes an apple, he throws it in the air, and it falls back on one of his spikes, and it just stays there. Like, I don't know how many takes they must have done for that, but it was priceless. It was a good moment. It's fun. They put me on the show as an extra a few times, like just a student walking around and stuff. So that was fun, being on set and everything.
Also played Ben Shaw on Fries with That.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. I had no idea. He's also from 2010 to present been on Bored to Death. And it says there's 91 episodes on Wikipedia.
Yeah, more like 800.
Well, 91 good ones.
Oh, probably, yeah.
All the old ones with Steve, we don't talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. I had no idea. Cool and weird. How did he get into that? Just one of those weird things, or what?
I don't know. I guess he started in drama class. He liked it. All his friends were in it, so I guess they all did it together. And I think when he started playing the GURPS and the Dungeons and Dragons, and I guess he realized that he likes to role play and stuff like that. So he probably went into acting. And now he doesn't want to pursue it as much. He doesn't like the industry anymore. A lot of it became political and with the languages, and then there's a union and ACTRA union, and it's a whole mess, and he doesn't want to get involved anymore.
Oh, well, here. Okay, so Fries with That. It's a sitcom that revolves around a group of high school students who work at the local fast food restaurant named Bulky's. The sitcom follows primarily 5 high school age students and focuses on many themes such as love, responsibility, friendship, and honesty. Each member of the Bulky's main crew has a unique personality. So it's like, and then Ben is the highly obsessive and greedy assistant manager. He only wants one thing: more profits for Bulky's so that he can get recognition and finally become the manager. He is sometimes aloof and unpleasant, but other times friendly and accepting.
That's how we get Shay Geeks also.
He is a perfectionist and tends to stress easily. Certain crew members wish he would fall off a bridge just so they would have a day off for once. He enjoys making up absurd but official-sounding rules, such as no member of the crew at Bulky's is allowed to date another crew member at Bulky's. On the other hand, Ben is an excellent mathematician and greatly enjoys listing and calculating profits. He is always the employee of the month, and he is the only one with access to the money in his personal vault. Even a criminal with TNT could not break in. His full name is Benjamin Shaw.
Yeah. He's like the, I don't know if you guys, well, I watch SpongeBob, but he's kind of like the Krabby Patty manager guy. He's like that in the show. It's so funny.
Huh.
Yeah. It's a good show. I was laughing. Like I'm not laughing. I wasn't laughing because it was my brother on TV. It was a good show. The jokes were really good. It was a good sitcom. Both of them, Radioactive and Fries with That, were just really funny, and the actors on it were really good. They were really good shows, and I think that was when like YTV up in Canada was like really popular, and there was a bunch of really good sitcoms. And now I think they're just a lot of cartoons. But the sitcoms, I miss those. They were good.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean that's you never know, right? I mean, it's just like just as far as like what other people have gone on to do and what have you. It's and what they did before, whatever. You just I find that stuff fascinating.
Yeah.
What people did before whatever. So did you all watch the Star Wars trailer, even though there was going to be spoilers or something like that?
I didn't watch it.
No, I'm very proud of myself.
Here's the thing about the Star Wars trailer. It is very divisive. I don't think anything you think happens in that trailer is actually how it happens in the movie. Like, not even close.
I don't know. Who knows? I mean, of course, now we got to worry about it's one of those things where it's like now we can't talk about it because the poor precious snowflakes here don't want to hear about it. But
what? How are we snowflakes for not wanting our Star Wars?
I don't know. It's not going to ruin anything for you. I mean, I shouldn't say that. That's mean. But no,
I don't care.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I don't care either.
Well, then go watch it, Cheech. Jeez.
I don't want to watch it. I want to be surprised and shit.
It's
I
probably
tune
not
out
even
what
in
you
the
guys
movie
say.
anyway. You know how they are with the Star Wars shit.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's just like it looks good. I mean, I don't know. I didn't really like. I thought I'd watch it and go, oh, it's gonna be awesome, and I was just kind of like, eh. I mean, it looked cool. It looked very cool. It was. But yeah, it didn't answer any questions. It definitely like made you go, okay. I mean, you got to see Captain Phasma like actually fighting instead of just being dumb, which was cool. I don't know. I mean, it was kind of a stomach punch when you saw Carrie Fisher on the screen. You're just like, oh, that's sad.
It was a stomach punch?
Well, you kind of knew she was in it.
Well, I know, but I mean, it's a reminder that she passed away, so that kind of sucks.
Yeah. Do you ever get a stomach punch when you watch like old movies and realize that every one of those movies is dead now?
like I'll watch Harry Potter, and then when Severus Snape shows up, I get sad.
No. Oh, look, Cary Grant's on the screen. Oh.
No, it isn't like that, and you know it. And I know what you're doing, and I don't like it.
You're making sense. Stop it.
It's not making sense. What you're doing is like you're basically saying that hold on. What you're saying is basically like, oh, it's like you don't get sad when you see a picture of George Washington in a book, it's like it's not the same. You aren't emotionally invested in them because you didn't watch them in a bunch of TV shows. I claim BS on the on your trying to make yourself feel good about yourself thing here, because it doesn't work like that.
How am I making myself feel good about myself? Because I'm cold-hearted and don't really get all emotional because.
Well, that's fine, but I mean, it's like if you saw, I mean, I'm sure like Tom Petty dying sucked for me because like Tom Petty it was like always on my radio. Like I had tons of CDs of him, and I was always listening to that. And the idea that he's gone and he's not going to write any more music really makes me sad, you know? And it's not like I'm like, you know, weepy about it, but it's just, it that sucks. And I'm sure there's and maybe you are, maybe you just have a heart of stone and no soul and you're just a better person than me or whatever. But I'm sure, I'm sure that there is some like person or thing or what have you that, that you care about, you know, a great deal.
Lyndon B. Johnson. Every time he sees him, Anthony just tears up.
Like right through the heart.
I'm more of a Spiro Agnew guy.
Yeah, I'm
okay.
sure.
Okay.
I'm sure. The Spiro Agnew that gave a speech saying that.
No. So okay, let's go back to this. Let's not do the track. But here's the thing. All right. I understand. I understand where you're coming from, but on the same note, before let's go with Alan Rickman, because you brought him up. So before Alan Rickman passed away, if he'd show up in a movie, did you go, oh, look, it's that guy that I love from that other movie?
Yeah, I think so. I would.
No, but okay, that's dumb because it's
why
not,
is that dumb?
Because the reason why you get sad is because you recognize the fact that they're gone and they're dead. And having somebody die is a sad situation. When you see somebody who's alive and a vibrant actor and they show up in a movie, you're like, awesome, that dude's in the movie.
But how about every time they like wheel Kirk Douglas out in front of a camera?
I don't have a connection with Kirk Douglas.
But you look at him and go, oh, look at him.
No. You are arguing. You are.
He's no longer a vibrant man like he was.
You have a string. You have a string of like straw men that you're just creating. You know, like, I mean, I'm right there with you on this stuff, Anthony. But your comparisons right now are really lacking.
All right, so let's say.
I think vibrant. I think that wasn't a good choice of words for you.
Well, that's what he said. He said vibrant. That's what I was questioning.
I think the vibrant.
Somebody.
Wait, are we talking like something like Michael J. Fox? Is that what we're talking about, or I must have like lost track of something? Like
he's alive, isn't he?
Yeah, he's alive.
Yeah, but the question was, would you feel bad for him if you see him now on like a movie or something, or if he'd be dead and then?
I don't even know how we got on this, but I mean,
yeah, I think if Michael J. Fox died, that's what Lance is talking about. He would feel like that whenever he saw Michael J. Fox, like, oh,
no, not that he's like changed from his childhood memory of him and now.
But wait, we're now relaying Michael J. Fox to Alan Rickman. We were talking about someone who we remember for being in a lot of good movies.
Yeah,
but we don't have that with Michael J. Fox. So,
you're talking about someone who's been in
shots fired
in a lot of movies, right? So I don't know. I was trying to follow what the discussion was about.
Those discussions went off the rails.
No, okay. So the feeling that Lance is conveying, I have that feeling, but I have it for people that I know personally. Like I'll be watching like an old video of someone's wedding, and I'm like, oh look, it's Aunt Mary.
Yeah.
When she comes on the screen. But it's not. There are people in entertainment who I like more than others. I will say for a fact that I left work the day that Jerry Garcia died. I was emotionally upset when Mr. Rogers died. Not like bawling my eyes out, but I was upset by it. Okay, but it's not the same thing that I would sit there and go, "Oh, look, there's Mr. Rogers on the TV." They found some clip of him that's been hidden for years.
You would leave. Okay. You have to actually stop earning a wage and leave your place of business because a guy who could just play a guitar jam over 12 minutes and entertain a crowd of 90,000 people that were high to the gills.
I left. I was upset, but I got paid.
Fine.
Why do you need to put all the stipulations on who he was?
And what do you care? It's my freaking money anyway.
But I'm just saying. I'm saying you had to leave work, use sick time, or use paid time off, or whatever it is. You had to leave work over that. But me, I take a 5-second, like, I see something and I'm like, oh, I see Carrie Fisher.
No.
And I go, oh, and you're like, how dare you have a soul?
It doesn't punch you in the heart. Maybe it gently flicks you in the heart.
So now you're telling me how I felt?
Yes.
Okay. That's good.
You sound like my wife right now, Lance.
Well, I mean, I'm glad you know how I feel.
Oh my God, you sound exactly like her.
Hey! When you think you need to feel something, you ask me, and I will tell you your emotions at the time.
I bet.
Right now, you're happy, and I've explained this all to you.
You know what I think it is? Who's famous and who does like a lot of good things passes away, you're not sad that he passed away. You're sad that the world is gonna have less of whatever good that person was doing, or it's never gonna happen again, or that, like, for example, she won't be ever again in another Star Wars movie without CGI, or it's all of that put together that makes you sad. It's not just the person just dying that makes you sad. It's everything that was connected to that person. When that person is leaving behind, and it's never going to be done ever again. That's what makes, I think, us sad. Like, even with artists or painters who.
But make sure you check with Anthony before. He'll let you know.
He's in Canada.
He'll let you know.
Oh,
okay. Anthony will let you know. There's a Canadian Anthony that you have to get in touch with, and he'll let you know whether or not and how if you can be sad, and the depth of the sadness that you're allowed to feel.
Can't be touched in the heart. You can't be punched in the heart. You might be touched, but not punched.
When my time comes, and you look back on this episode on YouTube, don't feel anything. Just laugh. Just laugh at me.
Oh, I'm gonna just delete this one anyway. So, infuriating.
You love me.
I do.
There you go. Now feel that love. Feel that heterosexual man love. Go for it.
It's guy love. That's all it is.
Is that from Scrubs?
Yeah, it is. It's great. It's a good song.
Yeah, it was. My wife keeps playing it because I have a lot of bromance with my employee from my store at work and stuff, and we go around, and when people are not watching, like, we flick each other's chest or something, or he'd like punch me in the nuts or whatever, and my wife would be around and she'd start playing it on her phone. It's guy love.
That's all it is. It's guy love.
I'm gonna bring this back around to games. So speaking of this, your employees and having love for them and everything, let's talk about one of your other employees, Felicia.
Yeah.
So where did you find her? Where did she come into that?
Where did I find her? Oh my God! It must have been an ad or something, or a comment I put on Facebook saying we were looking for a gamer host that would want to go on my my channel and stuff. I started Bored to Death because I bought a HD camera and I wanted to test it. Before that, I was doing wedding videos, and I just bought a camera and we were playing, I think, Descent, the first edition, and the camera was there, and I'm like, I just bought this camera, guys. Let me just film. Let's film us playing and stuff. And then I put it on YouTube for fun, and people really liked it. They reacted, and I was getting companies emailing me and stuff like that. So I was like, okay. And then so I put up a post, looking for hosts for the show and stuff, and I guess she was one of the answers, and everybody that was on the crew before was also answered. So I brought in a bunch of people, and some stuck, some left. So, yeah.
So, but was she a gamer before, or was she? I know she's an actress also. But,
yeah, she's an actress, model, host. She does a lot of voice.
You're being a bit of a creepo right now. I'm just letting you know. I know she's acted before.
I have several pictures of her printed out.
In his
wallet.
wallet.
It's going to hit you right in the heart.
Oh my god. Yeah, no, she's a casual gamer.
I see what you did there.
We brought it around. That's what comedy's all about.
Mm-hmm.
You bring it back around.
She's a casual gamer. She won't play the hardcore games.
Yeah.
She'll be there for game nights and stuff, but she's more into the Santorini type of games and stuff like that. Those are her type of games.
I like how you called it the Santorini. Like that.
We're going to Vegas at the end of the month for Unrivaled, I think it's called.
What's that?
It's a board game tournament hosted by Will Wheaton, I think.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, the Unrivaled. So they contacted us and they said if we wanted to go, and they were going to pay the flights and everything. So we said yeah.
Wow. Hell yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to be covering that, and hopefully, I don't know if you guys are going to be there. Apparently, it's a really big convention / tournament, and they said there was going to be a lot of media and stuff like that over there. So I don't know if
I honestly did not hear anything about it until I saw ads for it on BGG. No, it doesn't mean it isn't huge and cool and awesome. I didn't see anything about it until then.
Yeah, so Felicia's going to be there, and we're going to cover it. We're going to see what happens. And this is the first time I ever
Oh, Felicia's going to be there?
Yeah. We're going to be there.
Break this down. All right.
God, Andy.
I'm going to look at the list.
You're such a jerk.
It's a big tournament. They're going to have a lot of prizes and stuff, big money tournaments, dominating type of tournaments for board games. It's crazy. There's going to be King of Tokyo tournament where you could win $25,000 and stuff like that. It's a big thing. I don't know if it's because it's Vegas. Maybe you have to pay to get in, or there's some kind of gambling or anything. I don't know. What do I know? I'm Canadian.
Well, I saw they listed some comedians going to be there or something. I never even heard of the guy before. But has anybody heard of that comedian before?
Who is it?
I don't know. I it didn't jump out at me. I don't know.
What are we talking about anyway?
What's it called? The Vegas?
You know the place where Felicia's going to be.
It's called Unrivaled.
Oh yeah, that's right, Felicia.
I think it's called Unrivaled. It's at the Bally's Hotel in Vegas, and it's going to be big. Will Wheaton's going to be there, and he's going to be hosting the tournament. And I mean, all of the shops that were involved in this ran tournaments at their shop to have one winner, and then that winner from that shop would be sent to Vegas for this huge tournament. So it's going to be interesting. I don't know. It's my first time going there. I'm going to cover it. So if you guys want to watch it, I'm not allowed to stream live. They said that, but I'm going to post something when I come back and I'll share it with you guys.
Brian Callen. He has.
I just heard him on the Jay Moore podcast.
He was on The Hangover. You'd recognize him if you saw him connected to the movies.
It said Will Wheaton will MC the event, and Brian Callen will deliver hilarious comedy throughout.
Yeah, he's got a lot of good movies.
I was not available, so they had to go with him.
He was also in 2 episodes of CSI in 9 seasons apart. There you go.
Wow.
He was so good they brought him back 9 years later. That's bizarre.
He died in the first one. They dug him back up 9 years later.
What part did he play in Hangover?
I don't know. Maybe he's probably a drug dealer or something.
Was Felicia?
Bad TV. Oh, he was in Oz. Oh yeah. Okay, that's where I recognize him from too.
Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna share my screen so you can see what he looks like.
Fat actress, Sex and the City, Seventh Heaven.
He looks like a poor man's Joe Rogan.
He does.
I have no idea who you're talking about.
All right, go flip to my thing and I'll show you that's what he looks like.
No, it looks like Anthony Ricano.
Hold on. There, that's what he looks like.
Yeah, he looks like Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan.
There's another picture of him.
Well,
There's
the
another
suit. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's one of those guys that you know his face, but you don't know his name.
Oh, he was in Californication. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
No.
He played a cop in one episode. Holy, he's been in a lot of stuff. Oh my god. Yeah, tournament looks pretty cool. I had not seen much about it at all until the advertisements as well, just like you, Lance.
Hey, when I shared my screen, did anyone see my Felicia fan page?
Well,
So,
I
on a
did
follow-up
not.
question, how much does a restraining order cost in Montreal?
I wouldn't know that. Sorry.
$10 American.
10 American.
It wouldn't be much in Canadian, yeah. That's true.
Yeah. Oompa? Who the hell's Oompa?
What?
Oompa. I think that's their sponsor for this thing.
I have
Or the-
no idea.
The founders of the.
Hey, that Oomba logo looks very much like the old Alaboom logo. Just saying.
We should have copyrighted it or something. I don't know.
We may have stolen it from them originally.
That's also quite like I would put way higher probability on that than my previously mentioned theory. But did everybody race out and buy their tickets for Star Wars?
No.
No. Wait, are they only showing it for 2 days?
Yep.
Oh, no.
Sold out.
Then it's just done. It's over.
You fool.
I saw somebody post, like, they were so excited. I got tickets for the whatever show in the IMAX. $30 a ticket.
I saw that too, actually. I thought that was insane.
$30 a ticket to go see Star Wars.
So you know how to spend their money better than them?
Yes.
I'm not telling them to spend their money. But I say, why did you spend your money on that? I'm just baffled by paying $30.
Why does that baffle you?
It does.
Why does it baffle you?
Because it's $30 to see a freaking movie.
So
It's not so bad. They're going to dig through the trash for a giant popcorn bucket and giant soda so they can get that for free. And
So
it's
you-
out.
I'm
So-
just walking
so-
backwards.
So you question their motives then?
Yes.
Why? What do you mean their motives? What motives do you have for spending $30?
Your Honor, I would like.
I'm going to impress a girl later with my $30 movie ticket.
Your Honor, I would like the person to answer my question without a question.
So how much do you think this movie is going
You're
to make
saying
the
there's
first weekend?
motives. Wait. Barry, hold on. I'm not talking logic here. Let's just throw a question out there that makes no sense, but okay. So I'm questioning his motives. I didn't say there was any motive behind it.
Okay,
I'm
what
just
were you
saying
saying?
for myself to spend $30 to go see a movie is a little ridiculous.
Hmm.
If he wants to, good for him.
You can
If he
wait
wants
6
to
months
take
and buy
that
it.
ticket afterwards and get it, encased in glass, that's fine. Go for it. That's your money. Do what you want.
It all depends on how much money you have. I'm in the same boat. The $30. That's absurd because you assume he's not going by himself either. Probably taking somebody else. You're probably looking at $60.
Oh,
You
so
go
now
to
we know
that-
his plans. We know what he's doing.
I was on your side here. I'm just saying.
Wait. So
his plans, he's
Forrest,
taking
you're saying
the
there's
kids,
something
so it's
wrong with
$120.
him to go to the movies by himself. What's wrong?
I
with
would
that?
assume that he's not going by himself.
Well, why would
I mean-
you assume what his social arrangements are? Maybe he likes going by himself. Maybe because people talk to him during the movie if they know him. So he goes by himself, so everyone leaves him alone. Because very rarely in a movie theater will the guy next to you who you don't know go, hey, what do you think happens next? That doesn't happen. The guy next to you who doesn't know you doesn't ask you, who's that guy again?
I agree with Anthony, and I think it all depends on how much extra cash you have, really. I mean, I actually go to Walmart and then rip off those free movie ticket things off DVDs and then enter those in and then go to movies a lot. But I'm
you a horrible human being.
Horrible person.
Forrest,
it
go
works
tell
so
Lance
well.
how to feel. Go tell Lance how to feel.
We don't know. Maybe the guy has a lot of money and he only has an IMAX next to his house. And
Well, let's stop with this logical thought here. It's all about conjecture and hyperbole. We think this is CNN.
oh wow! Oh my god! Oh, if we're gonna start talking about CNN and Trump, we gotta get my brother.
No, this is a politics-free zone.
All right. I don't know much anyway, so because I'm Canadian.
Well, yeah.
Justin
Prime
was so
Minister
dreamy.
is a sexy man.
Are we gonna do a? We're gonna do an Essen episode of this. Do we care?
We're going to do every game, and we're going to do it live.
Let's do it now.
There's 949 titles, Chief.
Oh my
We're
god!
not- there's no way, I'm telling you right now, because we set up at the Gen Con one, that you were like, no, we'll go through the whole list. There's no way we're going through the whole list.
Yeah, no way. No way.
No, even to just read the names out, we're not going to go through this.
Are they all new releases?
They're new to somebody.
Well, yeah.
We gotta think of something to do for Halloween. We're not gonna have the stories, which will stink. But I don't know. We gotta think of a spooky themed episode somehow.
What is today?
What's in Lance's closet?
I got a question for everybody who's been to Essen. Is it pretty easy at the airport just to exchange currency, or do I need to go to a bank? Does anybody know that?
Your best bet. When do you leave?
I leave next Thursday morning.
Your best bet is call around your hometown and find a place that will exchange the money for you here. Like,
okay.
just because that's the best way to do it. When I went to Japan, I called, like, there's like several banks, and then there are exchange services where you can walk in. They'll charge you a little bit of money, but it's one thing taking it off your plate where you just don't have to worry about it.
Oh, also, check with the hotel you're staying at, because a lot of them will exchange. Oh, then forget it. I think a lot of hotels will exchange money at the front desk for you.
Okay.
Are the worst places to trade money. I've heard, because they know it's kind of an emergency, so they're gonna like it up a little bit.
Your other option, and probably your easiest option, is you bring just enough money to get you there, and you contact your bank, and then that you can use your ATM card, and you'll get it just in the local currency.
That sounds much easier.
That's what I did in India. I just brought enough money to tip people till I got there, and just went to the ATM at the hotel, and the rate at the ATM was actually better than the rate that the front desk had.
All right.
Hey, you guys, I don't know. Do you guys play a lot of video games too, or just board games, or just card games? Anybody into
I play video games.
anything online, or?
I do mostly Xbox One stuff.
Lame.
A lot of Overwatch and Fortnite Battle Royale, which is a 100 person Battle Royale.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. PvP.
It's
stuff.
fun.
Yeah.
It's a lot better if you got somebody else to play with.
Yeah. I can't join you. I got the PS4, so.
Attaboy. Yeah, just go ahead and compare the user base between those two worldwide. You know.
Let's compare the online services.
Hey, did I even talk about that? Why are you bringing up a straw man argument? Which one has more people that own it?
Let's talk about the actual online.
Can I have an answer to my question, please?
There are more people on a PlayStation 4. but it's
Okay.
less.
Therefore,
quality.
then by that logic, would you agree then it is more popular?
Titanic's the greatest movie of all time. Then don't argue with me.
Well,
More people have watched it.
what?
Titanic, best movie of all time, right? Number one.
You would find there's going to be way more people are going to say that's the number one movie of all time than not. I mean, like, it's just like probably if you went to a poll then and you went by that statistic, yes, it would be.
All right, we're gonna go with Gone with the Wind because Justin with Inflation, that's the number one movie of all time. You cool with that?
All right, yeah. I mean, if that's what it turns out to be, yeah.
Damn it! I wish Anthony was on right now. I'm sure he'd have something to say about this.
Well, he just tell you're wrong too. Just get used to it. Yeah. So yeah, PS4, way more people. Better system.
Better system.
But
I think there's some pretty good exclusives on Microsoft, like Gears of War and stuff like that. Those are fun games.
No.
No. No.
Is there any game at Essen that anybody's like they're like, oh, I can't wait? Either they're going to go to Essen and they're going to say, oh, I got to make sure I pick that up, or like you're hoping that it comes over, here.
Let me get my list up.
Yeah, I never finished looking at the list. There's 900 fucking games.
I went through all 900, and I think there was only 9 I was legitimately excited about, which was incredibly depressing to me because I was planning on doing a top 10 list, and I was like, "Fuck, I don't want to talk about these." Whereas, like,
game, Lance?
With Gen Con, though, like I can pump out 20 games, so I don't know what it is. It's weird.
Are you more
that Dragon Castle Mahjong game looks pretty cool.
Are you more of a Eurogamer or a Ameritrash?
I'm an Ameritrash gamer. You know that about me.
Yeah,
I like
Forest.
I like both, but I have a hard time getting excited about Euro games. Like, it's like, oh, there's a rondel and it's about the fucking burning down. Like Lisboa is a perfect example. Like, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a great game. But like, oh, the themes that you got to reconstruct Lisboa after fucking this and that, and it's got this and this mechanism. I don't know.
What about
Theme
you,
attracts me, but I like all different kinds of games except for abstracts.
Yeah.
Abstracts just drive me crazy.
I don't know. I can enjoy them, but they have to be good. Like, I played a really good one tonight, actually. The new one from what is it? Fireside Games, Kaiju Crush, which is about monsters smashing cities. Don't let it fool you. It's an abstract strategy game. You're just moving. It's like Onitama, but with rock paper scissors. But it's abstract. It's good though. I liked it. But for the most part, yeah. Okay, so here's my Essen interested ones. I don't think I have any must-haves. Blank's coming out at Essen. Yeah. I want to get the Power Grid expansion.
Oh, yeah?
There's a role-playing murder mystery game, which is for 7 to 8 players, where you actually you play like it's a your typical dinner murder mystery, but it takes place at Essen. So I dig that. But other than that, no. I'm sure when I get there, though, I'll see a bunch of stuff I want when I actually get to see it in person. But for the most part, I was not nearly as excited as I thought I was going to be about what I saw on the list.
There's like what's this? Matt Garrett's is a new one. That's like the only thing I'm like, I really want to own that. But then it's also one of those things where it's like, it'll be there eventually. The remake of Wildcatters by Capstone is going to be there, which will be a very good game. But I can wait for that to come over. And there's like, I was looking at it and it was just like, there's really nothing like jumping out at me like, oh, you got to make sure you get this because this is your chance. You're not going to have another chance to get this, that, or the other thing. And mean, I don't know. It just seems like if the games are any good, they find their way over here.
Yeah.
And if they aren't any good, they just won't find their way over here. And then that kind of is our, our litmus test. It's just, I mean, I'm sure there's a diamond in the rough or two that, we wouldn't be able to snag for whatever reason, but I find it very difficult. Or, I mean, it's just, who cares? I mean, oh, well. I've kind of gotten past that point now where it's like, oh, I can't believe I didn't get that game when I could have. And, I got, so many great games on my shelf that, I probably haven't either played or played enough of that I can't really bring myself to get super upset about it anymore.
They made an expansion of last Friday. Why?
I don't know, because last Friday sold really well.
Did it? I didn't find it all that great game.
It did before people played it. I think because I remember that being the one a lot of people were anticipating at Gen Con, like I was, and then I think people played it and they're like, oh, well, shit.
I liked it. It was. They could have. The sad thing is that the best game about with that theme was went through Kickstarter, and then of course the people that made it just vanished.
The camp,
yeah, and it was just fantastic. I mean, I have both the black and white, the black and white movie version of it, and Camp Grizzly.
Yeah,
and I have the color version of it, and I mean that game really feels like it. I mean, it's got its rough edges, but you kind of forgive it just for the story that you have when you play the game.
I like Camp Grizzly. I didn't like the board. I remember that. The board bothered me.
The board, well, and the thing about the board that stinks is that you have those 4 ways that people can get off, can survive, right? And it's and those are always kind of static. I just wish there were a pack of cards they could have sold, because I mean the people that made it are long since gone. I don't think they ever want to make another game.
Yeah.
And that in the game called Mob Ties, which is a really, really good mob negotiation game. They kind of made their one game, they made their passion project, and then probably the whole process of making the game and everything was just such a pain in the ass that they just said, I'm not doing it again, and they just walked away. And so I just, it's one of the things with Camp Grizzly, I just kind of wish that they had, made alternative endings to the, to the game. Because if you just got those 4, I mean, it's just kind of it gets kind of boring, having just those 4 endings.
Yeah.
But now what do I know?
Nothing. Essen. And Bezier stopped making Ultimate games.
I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, no joke. Go back to making werewolf expansions. No, I love werewolf, but I don't know. I just never got into Ultimate. It just didn't do it for me. But yeah, I agree. They just keep pumping those out. But I guess they make a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's one of those expansions where it's cheap enough that if you like it, you're going to get it no matter what. Most of the people I know who have Ultimate have at least 2 or 3 of them, even if they don't play it that much.
I like that one. The hell was the name of it? It wasn't the Ultimate one. It was the other one, Inquisition.
The one that was 10 players. It was supposed to be Resistancy. Is that the one?
No, it wasn't that one. It was
One Night.
No, it wasn't a one night one. It was an offshoot of it. It didn't do too well, from what I understand. It was kind of forgotten, under the radar type one. It's one of them games where I can't remember how to play it now because I've played so many.
Hey, Lance. You got a laptop?
Ultimate Werewolf Inquisition.
Yeah, Ultimate Werewolf Inquisition.
Yeah, it's ranked 2100 on Board Game Geek. So it's pretty favorably ranked.
Is it?
18CZ will be there. I'm kind of excited. I wish I'd backed that on Kickstarter.
A trade game.
Yeah, I'm starting to really dig the 18XX stuff.
I don't know.
I'm getting old and curmudgeonly.
Well, I'm not getting. I don't know if I can find a group to invest that much time in it.
You got to think like Jamie and those guys would throw down.
Nah, Jamie might. I don't know if the rest of them guys have enough time. Yeah. I don't even know if Jamie would. He wanted to get into that space game from GMT.
The Space Empires
Pulsar?
4X.
Yeah, and he just never could. It was the same thing at the time. Yeah.
It definitely is an investment, like into okay, well, this is our day, just like getting somebody to agree with that and dive in like that can be very difficult. I don't know. I mean, 18XX, I've kind of just slowly fallen in love with the whole process. I like the fact that there just isn't any there's no luck, it's just you against the other people, and trying to basically kind of do better than them and use their rotting carcass to help you move forward and boning people out of money. And it's just it's a lot of math, which I kind of like as well. So there's tons of stuff that I enjoy about it, and that one looked cool, if you will. There is a problem with finding people to play those games with you though too. Yeah. So.
Even like the war games, I try to get in a couple of them. I have Academy games. They're
and those are more almost Euro-y too, though. You know how lame I am. So like the Vikings game that they had, which is fantastic. I'm sorry, it is fantastic. So there's a lot of A's. So that I thought it was really good. I found myself wishing I had cubes. I was like, oh great, you gave me minis, and I was just like, I kind of like this better with cubes. It's just I am getting like old. I don't need the. I don't know what the deal is.
Oh no, I wasn't talking about that one. I was talking about the Swords of Steel and what the hell's the name of that line?
I don't know.
Give me a minute. A Conflict of Heroes. That line.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Those are good stuff.
And I bought the solo generator type deal. I just haven't had time to sit down and actually do it. Since I got this, the shore place closed down, there's shit around the house I got to get done first before the winter comes.
Forest. Actually, the one game, if you can get it for me, and I'll pay you the trouble for your trouble, and I'll even throw in a little extra for you.
Jab?
No. If Gaia Project is released there in English, I'd appreciate you snagging me one.
Text me, so I'll remember. But yeah, I can look for it.
Are you on my phone?
Facebook message me. All my stuff goes through one thing, so it's all the same to me. You send me a Facebook message, it just looks like a text to me. So
do I need to text you like every day?
Yes.
Just once will probably do. Maybe. Yeah, just text me once. I'll try to remember it.
Forest.
Oh, I did find something that I really want there. And this is not being a kiss ass. 2 Orleans promo packs are coming out, which give you 6 new tiles. So that is my one must-have that I absolutely must have, which is implied by the word must-have.
Well, if you don't snag them, I think we're picking them up to have them sold here too. So.
Oh.
There, I just texted you.
All right.
Yeah, that's like the only thing. I really like Terra Mystica, even though I might be the world's worst Terra Mystica player ever.
I don't know about that. I've only played it twice though, so
Yeah.
I played it with the base game and then the expansion, the one expansion.
Let's do this. Like for next week, let's everybody like write down like the 5 games at Essen that we're like excited about. And then we can mine, of course, one of them be Gaia Project, but write down the 5 and then we can just compare and contrast, if you will. I think that'd be a good way to do it.
These are games we have not played that we're just excited for.
Yeah, like if you were there, they would be an insta buy kind of thing.
Okay.
I don't think I'll be on too late next week though. I got a jewelry duty on Thursday.
Jewelry duty.
Jewelry duty.
Yeah.
Fucking license bullshit.
What?
I had to re-up my license. That's how they get you to Delaware.
You're crazy.
Huh?
Yeah, I was stoked. They didn't let me do jury duty. I was supposed to last month. I was pretty pissed off. Since I work with kids, apparently they never pick people who work with kids.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, with me, they won't let me do any criminal stuff because I know cops and my sister and stuff. It's always, the other stuff.
I remember one time I got called in for jury duty, and like before, like we're all sitting in the thing, right? And we're all waiting, and then the judge comes in, and then everybody stands up, and then the judge sits down, and then this guy towards the front just raised his hand, and the judge said, "Yeah, you can go." And the guy just and then the guy turned around and walked out, and then everybody was like, "What?" Because they were like, "Man," and then the judge goes, "He's a cop." And they was like, "Oh, okay." So they yeah.
In Philly, you sit there till like lunchtime, and then they just let everybody go. Yeah, it's like, why waste the time,
For us, you call a number every morning. Like you get put into the pool, and you're in the pool for the entire month, and then like you get given a whatever. Like whatever. I'm group 15, and then you call the number every morning. Or it isn't every morning. It's like you got to call Tuesdays and Fridays or something like that. And then like if you call on Friday, they tell you got to be there on Monday, and if you call on Tuesday, you got to be there on Thursday or something like that. It's just it's ridiculous. And if they call your group number, and if you do, then you got to go in, and then you just sit there and you wait in this like area, and just fiddling with your phone or reading a book, waiting for them to tell you to go into this other room. And that's the one time I was on a jury. That's what I did. And it was like, all right, go into this other room. And then they kind of started going through the whole thing. And then they were like, we're going to call off 12 names. The rest of you likely will not be needed, but you need to hang out here. And, and we'll see if we excuse anybody off these 12. And as luck would have it, mine was one of the 12. And so we went up there, and then then we went through the whole process of the lawyers just asking us questions.
Yeah.
And this is what this boned me. Well, and it wasn't so bad because like I worked for a place that like they with jury duty, they paid you full pay. It was just you got time off, but it's still you had to go to that. You had to go there and sit at the courtroom like all day and eat these like dry tuna fish sandwiches for lunch. It wasn't fun at all.
Yeah.
I mean, it was cool that I got to do it once, but I now I hope I never have to again. And but I remember what happened is that the defense attorney had like a legal aid with them, and it was this like 22, 23-year-old girl. And she had like these cool tattoos on like her ankle and her leg, and she was always wearing like a skirt and stuff like that. So I was always like, I got a bunch of tattoos. So I was just kind of like, oh, that's kind of nice. And she was easy on the eyes or whatever. And like after the trial was done, like she actually called like all the jurors and just asked them questions as to why we picked what we did and things like that. And then when she called me, I was like, why did I get picked? And she literally said, the lawyer saw you checking me out, and so he figured that he was going to be you were going to be on our side because. And I was just like,
That's crazy.
Yeah, just like I was like, oh.
Oh my god! Did any of you guys watch The Good Wife?
No. Of course, and then the final to that story, I was like, so I said, you live in town? I have a boyfriend. She said, I was just like, oh. But The Good Wife, no, I don't believe I have.
Lawyer show. They have like 7 seasons. Where I watch it with my wife in bed and stuff, and everything you just said happens in that show, and that's exactly why they choose people. It's crazy. All these little things. They look at the jury, and it's a show about law and stuff. It's like a Law and Order kind of thing. And it's every little thing that you do, they'll say, okay, we want him because he's going to be on our side. It's crazy stuff. I thought it was just for the show, but now you're saying it, and it's like it's exactly like that. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, who knows? I mean, it whatever happened, I mean, I don't know. It was just yeah. If you can get out of being on a jury, I'd strongly suggest it. I mean, it's not my
You get paid to go, or
yeah. Well, my we got paid like $20 a day. It was like nothing,
And
and then,
7.
yeah, and we got, like I said, we got a free lunch, and you had a choice between tuna or chicken salad. You got a bag of Lay's potato chips, a bottle of water, and like this sandwich that like was like it was like they made it at 8 a.m. and you got it at 2, and it was just dry. Like they just left it out on the counter like the entire day. No, it was just like, and after that, everybody just started bringing their own food. Oh, you sure you don't want our sandwich? No, I don't want your sandwich. Get that. Yeah. You're obviously just effing with me. So, yeah, there's that then. My stepfather, or not my stepfather, my father-in-law, he said that he's been called jury duty like 3 times, and every single time he's like, yeah, I got a jury duty every single time. And he's like, why is that? And then because like inevitably they'll ask me a question that will like be about, do you find yourself able to be impartial? And I always just answer the exact same way. I figure if you've been arrested, you're probably guilty. You are free to go. And see, the thing is like, but he believes that. He's like, if you didn't do this, you probably did something like it. I'm not a big believer in that wrong person, wrong place, wrong time thing. There's a reason why you're right there. And there's like way too many people that I think like look forward to it, like they really want to do it. They're like, I want to be part of this.
I was stoked.
I think I'd like to go on trial once, not as a juror, not on trial. I've been.
That's easy when I go that way.
I've been through trials twice. I don't want to do that again. But I like to see it from the other end. Yeah,
that's what she said. No, yeah, I'll give you that. I mean, it's just.
It's most court is not like television.
No.
Yeah, I know. I know.
It is very
it's slow and postponing.
During our trial, the judge like was falling asleep, like on several moments. Like he was just lean back in his chair like this, and it would just be like and he kind of like come to and like lean forward, and it was like, come on, there's like people's lives here that are being affected by this. Can we have you be just at least pretend that you're part of this? Yeah.
You can't object to the judge, can you?
Well, I don't think I wasn't gonna like say anything and then find out that I had to. I was going to get in trouble. Hey, you need to be awake there, sir. Oh, you can go to jail. Awesome. That was not what I wanted at all. And then, because I just sat there and I was quiet the entire time, they elected me as foreman of the jury. That was great. I was just like, I really don't want this. They're like, well, yeah, but you seem to be paying most of the attention. I was like,
yeah, to the tattoos and the ankles.
like, a lot of like, fine.
The worst is being the alternate.
Yeah, you're not even involved in the decision.
You sit through the entire thing, and then you have to sit in a separate room with the other alternates while they deliberate. And if they deliberate for 6 hours, you sit in that other room for 6 hours, and you can't talk, you can't do anything. You are not allowed to discuss anything if you're an alternate. With the other alternates, because just in case.
What's the point?
Because the whole thing is, if they find out that person has been tainted in any way, or there's an issue or whatever, if someone gets sick, you have to take their place. But the whole thing is, you can't influence the other alternates. In case, so especially if you're not the first alternate, you're like a leper. They don't want you going in with the vote with that person in case they have to get pulled in.
Interesting. The thing is that did any of you watch the it's on Netflix now, but The People versus O.J. Simpson?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, amazing.
Yeah,
that was so good. I was Robert De Niro.
He looked like a ghoul. He seriously just looked like okay, so the show, it was fun to watch, right? And I was just like, this is interesting and everything like that. But I just, I can't even imagine being part of that jury and being sequestered that long. I mean, shoot me in the face.
Right.
Just like, at some point, wouldn't you? You just want to, just I'm done. Fine. I read a magazine. I'm out.
I think they did a pretty good job with casting on that, other than Cuba Gooding Jr. I just didn't see him as OJ. I don't know if it was the voice or just the look, but everybody else seemed to fit pretty good, other than him.
Yeah,
that was amazing. So speaking of TV and court trials and whatnot, I got to watch something extremely interesting. So A&E had this 5-part special thing on the whole Lacey Peterson case. And it was fascinating to watch. All of this information that was there that they came out with, that really, see, the whole thing back with OJ too was when I watched the thing, I was pretty sure he did it.
No way.
But when I watched it, I was like, there's no way, and not just because he's famous, but there's no way based on that trial they could have found him guilty. And I'm watching all of this stuff from they're going over the scenario of what supposedly happened and all this evidence they had and this and that and the evidence they didn't have on her husband. And I'm sitting there going, and there are a lot of people on the show are baffled in how they actually got a conviction in that case. And I watched with everything, all the information they gave and all the facts and all that, and I was like, I can't see how you can convict this guy. Yeah, he probably did it, but there was nothing there. There was no evidence whatsoever that said that he did it. And I don't know. I like those things about real cases and stuff, where they show evidence and whatnot. I used to watch court TV all the time. I found that fascinating to watch, and then the OJ thing blew it up. But
if you like that, you should watch The Good Wife. It's a weird title. It makes it sound like a soap opera kind of show, but it's not. It's really good. It's 7 seasons. It's on Netflix.
Yeah, but that's dramatized.
Yeah,
so I like the TV shows and movies about court cases too. But I mean, just the fact that you see the actual stuff that's presented and whatnot, and you're like, yeah, I don't get it. But
yeah. But you learn a lot. Like I learned a lot from that show and stuff. It's interesting. It's cool.
Yeah, I mean, that's the Lacey Pearson case is the one where they found him guilty and he's on death row because he did it, but there was like no.
There's no evidence of, like where it supposedly happened. There's really no evidence of a struggle. The time that they said it happened doesn't match up with with where he was at the time. And then like the other thing is, the baby hadn't been born yet, but the baby's body washed up on shore, and the medical examiner gave this belief that one examiner gave this thing that the baby had died on like whatever day they thought it was. Another one said, no, the baby died. It looks like the baby lived for a couple of days after being born, which means it would have been born after she was dead. It would have died after she died, like a significant amount of time, and the baby just couldn't have done that. It was just all like some really weird stuff. And then there was like some other like cases and stuff going on around the area. There was a woman who literally lived down the street from them, who owned like not really like a thrift store, but like some sort of clothing boutique or something. And she was 8 months pregnant also. And some guys like were checking out her store, and then she locked herself in the back room. And like, there's a whole bunch of like weird stuff that you sit there and go like, okay, there is, again, it all may be just coincidence or whatever, but the whole thing is supposed to be, guilty beyond a shadow of a doubt. And there is a lot of doubt there. He probably did it, but I'm just saying there's a lot of doubt just the way this case was done. And it's like, yeah, I don't know. It's so weird.
But he did it. I mean, it's just like he had a wife that he didn't want to be married to. They were going to have a kid, and he wanted to be married to somebody else, and he did the absolute unthinkable. He
allegedly.
No, he did it. He's convicted.
Doesn't mean he did it.
That's true.
In the eyes of the law, he did.
In the eyes of that jury,
yeah,
he did.
That the law entrusts with determining whether or not he is guilty or innocent. And they determined that he was guilty, and so now he is. Until they, the thing about it in California, like people on death row, they don't execute anybody on death row in California.
No,
because it takes like so long to have an appeal done and you get whatever it is, 87 appeals, so one of the first things they say criminals do when they get into prison or they're on the death row in California is that they immediately ask for a public defender, because they're not going to get one for their first appeal for about 6 years. That's how backed up they are. And so when they finally get one, then they start the appeals process, which is going to take 2, 3, or 4 years, and just you just die in prison. The only way they execute you is if you say. There's been guys that have tried to say, I'm going to waive all my rights to appeal. I'm done. And then they actually make you go through psychiatric evaluation as to why you would do that, why you would want to, so they won't even, if you get to that point, even then they have to, check and make sure that you're not just being a nutball, and it's just, but they have it.
There have been 709 executions in the state of California between 1778 and 1972, and there was wait. There is currently 700. Oh, as of 2015, there were 746 death row inmates in California, and 18 executed since 1976.
Yeah,
13. I have varying numbers here, but.
It's not like Texas.
Well,
Do you guys have guilty until proven innocent or anything like that?
No, you're innocent until proven guilty, unless my father-in-law is in the. Well, okay, so it's like up here in Fargo, North Dakota, where I'm from, and I live in a town right next to Fargo. Like a month and a half, 2 months ago, this woman who is 8 months pregnant, or 8.5 months pregnant, or whatever, with her, she, a Native American woman, lived in an apartment with her boyfriend, father of her child, vanished, like disappeared. Nobody knows what happened to her. Like, she left her apartment. She had like just had a pizza delivered to her apartment. She was in the process of eating it. She had said that she had to go and like somebody had asked her to like go to somebody's like come over to like just try on a dress and to like have it on so they could like hem it or mark it for a seamstress or something like that. And she said she was going to go do that for a few minutes and then she'd come home. She left her cell phone, left everything. Never came back. Nobody knows what happened. Over days, no sign, no nothing. You never heard anything. And they eventually found her body in a river. But before that, the upstairs neighbor, like they had questioned her because like she had said that was where she was going. They went up there. And like the woman said, yeah, I mean, she came here and, she tried on the dress or whatever. We did our thing and then she left. I have no idea what happened. So like 2 or 3 days later, somebody called the cops that lived, because it was the same apartment building. Then like a neighbor of the cops called because they heard a baby crying inside that apartment. And so then the cops went there and basically busted the door down and they found this woman had a 2-day-old baby, and then they arrested her, and then they took the baby away, and then they went to that woman's boyfriend's job and arrested him, and so then they were asking, and she started just one story after another, just like, oh well, she came up and she wanted to use my phone to like Google how she could induce labor, and then she had the baby and she gave it to me, and then she vanished, and she just started telling all these like weird convoluted stories. And then they found her body, and it was obviously a murder had taken place. Somebody had actually cut the baby out of her. As disgusting and horrible as that is.
What the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, and
board games.
New game.
Yeah. Yeah, no. So, and then that happened, right?
Dexterity game.
Yeah, and so here they have like basically they have that woman's DNA in her apartment. They have just this convoluted like lies that she's told over and over again. And the weird thing is that the boyfriend, I mean, he's still culpable, but like he apparently had nothing to do with it. Like he came home and she said, "This is our new baby." And she's got like 6 kids with like 4 dudes, and then she really wanted another one, but this guy she was with is like sterile or something. It's really weird. It's just
the whole choir. Were you at the grocery store today?
No, this happened.
Oh.
This is going on right now
really
in my hometown, and so I mean they've got her dead to rights. I mean dead to rights. I mean they found like blood and they found DNA. They found all these things, right? The dude, the only thing he did was stupid was he didn't go to the cops immediately. Like he didn't go, "Oh my God, you are crazy! I'm going to the cops." So they're actually holding him for kidnapping and abetting and trying to figure out, I mean they've got her dead to rights. At the first trial hearing they both said not guilty. Now I can kind of see where the guy's coming from. Like I didn't have anything to do with killing her. I'm stupid. I should have said something. But she's saying not guilty, and I was like, "That's insane." I mean, they have her. I mean, it's just like it's so obvious
Did you not watch that trial in Florida where the woman got
Yeah, but hold on.
Drown that baby.
So then the thing is that like it's one of those things where like then I was listening to a lawyer talk about it, and they're like, why would she declare not guilty? And it's just like, because at this point it's one of those things where, you know, they're going to say they're not guilty because no matter if they're convicted or if they say that they're guilty, they're either way, you're going away for the rest of your life. And so the only chance you have is to say that you aren't guilty and hope for like a Hail Mary, basically. And that's the only shot you have to stay out of prison. And it's just kind of like, I don't know, that stuff is just crazy to me. It's just...
So just to circle back, so in the state of Texas, between 1976 and July 27th of 2017, they have executed 543 offenders.
And it has been shown to be systemically racist, like criminals who are African American are more often sentenced to death for the same crime as a white person. And it's just like it is shown. It's just crazy. If you take the time to look into what they've done, you know, it's definitely one of those things where it's like, you know, it's very possible and that they have probably executed innocent people in Texas. But
yeah, one of my friends is a death row lawyer. It's a bad day when he loses somebody for him, and he very rarely wins.
Well, it's just they like I've heard that like you can't you like if you go in there for like just to get an appeal to go to a life imprisonment, it's like, you know, it's just you have no shot. Like you just can't. I don't know what it is. Huh. It sounds. So how long has he been doing that, Aldi?
Since I know him.
Oh, yeah.
Like 10, 15 years or so. Yeah.
So why does he do it if he never wins? I mean, is he just like getting kicked in the teeth
wins.
over and over again?
But he definitely does. It's not all. I mean, his cases last years, sometimes decades. Like, you know, just a very long process.
I can't even imagine that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the mindset. He's not like, I don't know him that well. He's a friend, but it's a gaming friend, right? Like, oh, we play games. But I don't know all the ins and outs of, you know, his emotional states after losing.
So if you need someone to tell him how to feel,
Lance knows.
No, you can call me. I was telling Lance how he's supposed to feel earlier. He all bent out of shape.
Wow!
Did you guys see Lincoln is here?
Hey guys.
Hey Lincoln.
Lance was going on, so I just let him go because it was kind of spooky.
They'll never shut up. Don't do that.
Get a haircut, you hippie.
Yeah, you too, man.
Yeah. What do you guys do?
So we're getting ready for Essen. We just got done to go into our checklists.
I sent you my list of the stuff to pick up for me, right? You got that?
I didn't.
I'll send it again.
Send it again. It's
Don't send it.
It's
gonna get lost.
It's Tom Vassal at thedicetower.com.
Here I thought it was
VASL.
Earmuffs. Here I thought it was fuck@you.com.
Oh, it was gonna be that. Yeah. No, I actually after that year, I made myself a rule that I just don't do any muling. It's just too hard.
I know that's
so many things. I like having fun with you. Feel confident or feel happy that you were the last person.
Yeah. No, it's not that. You're the one that pushed him over the edge.
Pretty much for everybody, Lance.
I will take what I can get, you know?
Oh my God. Didn't you want a Mega Civ?
Yeah, we got him a Mega Civ.
Yeah. That was it, dude. That was what pissed me off.
Way to go, Lance. Ruined it for everybody.
Because you don't really understand how it goes. It doesn't sound like that big a deal, like, oh, go pick me up these few games. But, like, the whole process we have is super hard to, like, keep the games separated so that they don't get absorbed into the collection and opened.
Yeah, our copy of Mega Civ that got left behind.
Yeah.
Because of that
year. It was the year that we had the Mega Civ box, but it was filled with bags. Remember that?
Well, that was
Like when we
Jennifer.
opened it.
Was
Oh, no, that was
Jennifer's?
Jennifer. Yeah, I'm
Yeah, it
confusing
wasn't
it.
ours. Thank God.
Yeah,
it wasn't ours.
Jennifer Geske of what's the name of that con she runs?
Sasquatch.
Sasquatch. It's an invite con, I believe. She gets a lot of stuff, and she got a Megacip box and brought it home. When she opened it up, it's filled with bags, like sacks.
That sucks.
Like
that was
just
suck.
it
Like
was
100
like
pounds of bags.
like
The game was like 30 or 40 pounds, right?
yeah, but I mean, what I don't understand is like how did they?
They didn't open it before packing. They said, "Hey, we need a Megasiv." They handed him one. This was Daryl Andrews was the mule that year.
I gotcha.
So she basically hires people to go buy probably about 200 games for her,
I feel you.
and they mule them all home, or they get them shipped, or whatever. I don't know exactly all the details.
She hires people, Lance. So take advantage of their good nature.
Pays their entire fee, and I don't know if I think there's extra money involved sometimes, but
Yeah, you can just get over yourself already there. But
how many empty beds are you bringing, Forrest?
How many what?
When are you leaving?
I leave next Thursday, so I'm gonna watch a movie with my wife, Alaboom, and then I'm just gonna stay up, drive to Chicago, and I'm leaving next Thursday. And I'm shipping everything back. I'm gonna ship my clothes back, fill up my suitcase, take out all the box inserts, do that whole song and dance, but I'm gonna ship it back.
So if you don't care about the boxes, you can cut them.
I do care about the boxes. I'm just getting rid of the inserts.
Oh.
You could probably, if they're cardboard, you can just flatten them. But if they're the plastic ones, just toss them, obviously.
Oh, yeah, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, you'll definitely save some good pounds by punching.
And volume. Volume's your biggest, know.
Bring those gallon-sized
Ziplocs.
You can just
but just mix all the parts in bags. Like
mix them all together. We did that.
Oh,
that was awesome. Remember that year?
Oh my God,
Lincoln.
It was the biggest game ever where we were sorting through all that stuff.
why would you do that?
We had to figure all kinds of things out. It was such a mess.
You have 100 games and 2 suitcases. How do you make it work?
He didn't have enough bags. He did split, where he had bags, he put the bags in bags, but there was you still had to figure everything out. Like there was definitely loose pieces inside there. It was crazy.
Now, have you ever shipped anything back? Do you guys do that now?
Yeah, we have to.
We do.
What shipping service do you go through?
Well, we have to use freight.
Pallets, so it's not any shipping service really.
We have to do freight. We did UPS. We've done UPS, but we didn't do that.
From what I understand, there is a shipper on site. Yeah, we've done DHL. We sent 200 boxes individually with DHL. I do not recommend that.
Christ.
I do not recommend
Poor
that.
Jeff on the other end unloading all that
because
stuff.
Basically, yeah, and I think that was like Jeff's nature. Like apparently the guy was like, "Here you go." It's their job to take it off the truck. And Jeff didn't really realize that.
Oh yeah, what's it on the truck?
Like they have no insurance. They're on the truck unloading 200 boxes.
You got a website worth $87 million, and you're not,
and you can't get me one freaking game.
One freaking game.
It's not that, man. It's time. It's time, effort. It's energy that I only have so much of in time.
Invite you on my
87 million energies. I mean, I can't even tell you what the extents we went through that year to get you all that stuff. And then you kept adding to it. You're like, can you give me this? I'm like,
excellent. You could have said no stuff.
You remember?
I am so glad.
How much stuff you got?
I am so glad you took the time to come on tonight.
Yeah.
So yeah,
but that's actually how I met Lincoln.
Yeah, we were helping out
back from Essen. It was the first night of BGG Con, the pre-night, the night before, the second BGG Con, 2000.
We were stuffing badges first.
6.
And you got me Bubble Mint gum, which was my first experience with that, which I love now. All these years later.
I forgot about that. Yeah. And then in comes the games, like right off the plane.
In a suitcase.
In a suitcase. 2 suitcases.
Yeah.
boards, boxes, flat.
Everything's flat. All the boxes are cut flat.
It's just like imagine like just a bale of cardboard,
and
toss
wood.
on a table, and then like 15 Ziploc bags filled to the brim with pieces. All the guns. That's how we brought BGG Con 2006 to life. And I think that was the year of Kalis, right? Because that's when I met Stephanie. Was that Kalis or the year before?
I think it
Kalis
was before.
was huge that year. Oh no, it was Space.
Yeah, Space Dealer.
Dealer. Remember Space Dealer, guys? How everybody was crazy about that?
That was redone recently.
Well, not recently. Like 5 years ago, it was Time and Space.
Okay.
Stronghold.
Well, by
it didn't make as big as a splash.
No.
Could
When
not get that game. Everybody's playing. We're leaving tomorrow. Sorry, Friday.
Friday.
We're going to London to hang.
Yeah, I'm planning on a day trip there.
Watch the Harry Potter plays back to back. We're doing like a day of plays.
What? How much are
Harry...
those? Just out of curiosity.
I don't know.
Just we bought the tickets last year.
Yeah, we bought them last. So they went on sale last year. Michelle bought the tickets. She's like, I'm buying them now. I'm like, okay.
My wife would kill me if I did that without her.
Yeah. So we're going to see Harry Potter. I don't know what the first one's called, but the second one's Cursed Child, or is it all Cursed Child?
No, they're all the Cursed Child. It's just,
but it's part
two
1 and part
parts.
2.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. It'll be fun.
Interesting.
You got to come to Essen someday, Lance. It's pretty awesome.
Oh, yeah, maybe someday I will. I just
bring your wife. You guys can do like a anniversary thing.
Well,
it's your anniversary, right?
Well, it's right around the same time, but you
say, hey, would you like to go to Paris?
Paris is.
You go to Paris 3 days before.
Paris is dirty.
Paris is not dirty.
I've been to Paris. Paris is dirty.
Paris, Texas.
Admittedly, I went to Paris in like the early '90s, and it was very dirty.
I went to Paris in the early '90s as well. It was amazing. I was blown away by that city. Blown away.
Good for you. I guess I can't have my own personal experience.
No, but I'm just saying.
What was dirty? What was dirty?
The city. The city was dirty. I don't know. I mean, it's just the streets are dirty, and it was just grimy.
Wow. That was not my experience.
Not as bad as Venice, though. Venice was just like, I mean, people.
Well, the streets are so dirty; they're filled with water.
No, I mean, like Venice. It was like people just ate food and just dropped their wrappers on the ground.
Yeah, I didn't see any of that, but that could certainly happen. I could see that kind of stuff happening, especially because it's tourists. Often tourists doing that stuff.
I actually have a question for everybody who's been to Europe. Where's a good place for a day trip? Like, I know I'm going to Amsterdam for sure for a day or two.
I wonder why.
Well,
Versailles, dude. Versailles.
But I've just played on London because that just sounds like a good touristy Europe-y thing. But is there a better place?
London's neat, but the thing is it's more cultural type stuff, like museums and stuff like that. I don't know if you're interested in that. But like Scott was saying, Versailles is pretty awesome in Paris. But that's more cultural stuff. Yeah, it's
right outside of Paris.
It's a total day-long type of a thing to do, though.
Yeah, you can go see how those French aristocrats lived, kings and queens and all that stuff.
The thing that's really amazing is the Queen's Village.
Oh yeah,
it's this like half-size village. All the buildings are 2/3 or something like that. I don't remember, but it's amazing.
You said there was a sex museum somewhere that was really cool, Scott?
In Amsterdam. I don't know that it's really cool. We went to that based on somebody else's recommendation.
We had a fabulous time there. I thought it was great.
It was interesting.
What was great in Amsterdam? The best thing.
I'm sure it had something to do with brownies.
Oh, the Rijksmuseum. No, Amsterdam.
That was pretty cool. Rijksmuseum.
You got to go to the Rijksmuseum, dude. It's got it's got a lot of Vermeer. Do you know Vermeer? Paintings?
I have no idea what that means.
And Van Gogh's that's all stuff that's going to go over his head.
You mean
ultra-realistic paintings with like of the couple in the mirror, in like a kind of fisheye mirror. That's a Vermeer.
Rembrandt stuff. The Night Watch blew me away. Do you dig on paintings?
Nah, I'm more of sculptures and history kind of stuff, museums.
Anne Frank house.
Yeah, Anne Frank was interesting.
Very sobering.
I'll look into Versailles. Thanks for that.
I don't know how far away that is from Amsterdam.
Well, I rented a car. So.
Oh, you rented a car?
Oh, wow.
Cool. All right.
Well, London you won't be able to get there by car.
Yeah,
they actually rolled up all the streets. There's no pavement anymore.
You won't get there by car. It is isolated, but yes.
Fair enough.
A couple coffee shops too. There's good coffee there.
I hate coffee.
And go through the red light district. It's quite entertaining.
It's weird, man. We got into this alleyway, and I wanted to turn around so fast I couldn't believe it. The wives were laughing and looking, and I'm like, I want to be out of here.
I'm sure I'm going to take some strolls while I'm in Amsterdam.
Oh, it's a neat town for sure.
We saw a baby
stroller. Don't be judgmental, Lance. Stop being judgmental. Some countries allow things other countries do not.
Yeah.
They turn it into a tax income. They make money.
Last time I checked, our country allows it too. You just got to be in the right spot.
Sex workers and the drug industry is all regulated there.
I'm going to Denver in November.
God.
If you go to Amsterdam, you got to be careful for the cyclists. They're like,
dude, yes.
Yes.
I almost got hit so many times because I'm just like, what? Like, just walking.
It was like that in
and they're going a million miles an hour.
Too. In Copenhagen was pretty crazy. Bicyclists too. They definitely move a lot faster than we're used to, and many of them.
So, all right. Well, there you go. There's your tour.
There's your Europe in a nutshell.
Europe on five meeples a day. So did I don't know. Well, you guys, Lincoln, all that you play anything new lately?
We did Seventh Continent for the show, and I hadn't played like a tiny bit of it with Scott. But that's really neat.
Game of the year.
Blank.
And then anybody who says Gloomhaven, I'll punch right in the mouth.
Gloomhaven is pretty awesome.
Punch you right in the mouth.
Bring it.
Why do you say that? I mean, like
Scott, you're not allowed. Scott, you're not allowed to have an opinion. Only Lance is allowed to have an opinion. Obviously,
Can't have opinions or feelings.
Dirty city. It's a dirty city.
It is. It's a dirty city.
It's hard to. I don't know. I don't know which one's better for me, but they're both awesome, so can't complain.
Okay. Fair.
You also played this Warmind, right, Lincoln?
Yes, that was neat.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just, I don't know, a little bit too grim for me.
It's not. I mean, it's death for sure, but it's cool.
Yeah.
Right in the heart.
But it does some.
Oh my gosh! I'm gonna punch you right in the back of the head next time I see you, and I won't feel bad about it at all. Just pushing my buttons on purpose.
Not Andy.
I tried the Island Hopper tonight. The new one from Eagle Griffin. That game's pretty interesting. It's a dexterity game where you close.
Isn't that where it's like the crane, like magic, like you lower your hand down?
We thought we were really gonna hate it after the first round or two, but everybody dug it. I was very pleasant surprised by it. It's a cool idea.
Does it come in a gigantic pizza box?
No.
Okay.
What?
They had that game come out last year that came in that humongously box.
Oh, did you ever play that? I still have that on my review.
The Daedalus thing?
Yeah.
Oh, Daedalus?
They were selling them for like $30 on cool stuff. 30 bucks. Sorry, yeah, but that's 70% off. It was $100.
$150 MSRP.
It's not worth it.
$30, and it didn't even sell out at $30.
It looks kind of cool, but I'm like, I don't have the space.
The box is literally, it's like the size of a pizza. It's not delivery.
It's like 2 pizzas.
Yeah, that thing was huge.
I mean, it's like. What else have I played? I still can't get over we played Titan deck building game again.
Yeah, that's neat too.
Just can't get over how good it is.
It's deck building?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm out.
You're out.
No, Lance, you're in.
I'm out.
You're out when I say you're out.
Okay.
Let me look at my list here. What else have I played? The Hanamakoji is pretty awesome. I finally got around to playing that. That 2-player with the geishas, where you're trying to attract them to your.
It's a great game from Quick Simple Fun.
Yeah, it's awesome, and the art is great. And I thought, it's that tug of war thing where you're fighting over a line of 7 geishas, and you need 4 in your control or 11 points of control, and you have to take an action each turn. And the 4 actions, you have the same 4 actions, and when you take it, you can't take that again until next round. And so the actions they're brain melters, man. It's like, it's not just playing a card. You have to like either hide a card, or you trade a card, or you put a card out and your opponent takes one, or you put 2 piles of cards out and your opponent takes a pile. So you're giving cards to your opponent, which is, you never know what the right move is. It's pretty neat.
We opened up the drop mix today too. That was neat.
Which one?
Drop mix, the Hasbro / Hasbro / Harmonix game.
Do you have it right there, or did you put it away?
I can find it.
Bust it out.
It actually looks really cool.
Live jam.
Yeah. Well, I'm on the microphone here. You're not going to hear much.
It's pretty cool. It's like a. Has anybody ever heard of Acid program?
I'm sure Forrest has.
Yeah, Forrest.
I set it up. You knock it down.
You've been to a Fish concert in his day.
You're the one who had to take a day off for Jerry Garcia's death.
Yeah, no, I just can't take it. How else am I going to listen to a 26-minute guitar solo?
Lance, you're such a vicious person. I don't buy this Minnesota nice crap.
Well,
Forrest.
Yes.
What's your first game you're going to be waiting in line to purchase?
We talked about this. Nothing really. Well, I'm going to be interviewing, but the only thing that I really must.
But there's definitely some line waiters.
Is the Orleans expansions, which is just 6 tiles, but nothing really struck me as amazing.
Okay.
And it's also the kind of thing. It'll probably be a kids game. I'll probably find some obscure children's company there and just go ape shit. But I'm gonna get so many review copies. I have a feeling that I'm not gonna buy too much.
How do you? What's your pitch? Like, do your pitch to me. Like, I'm a children's game company. Give me your pitch.
Hey there, I'm Forrest from Bowers Game Corner. We're here interviewing about new and upcoming games. So I was curious if you had anything new or upcoming. We shoot a YouTube review channel, and then we'll shoot the interview. So, I've already, kind of talked to them. They see my personality. They see
move along. That's
and then I mentioned that
get them out of here.
I'm a preschool teacher. I have kids of my own. I work with a lot of kids. If you're interested in having anything reviewed, I spew out my numbers, and most of the time it goes over well. I mean,
I just really like kids.
So you don't mention the shirtless videos or nothing like that?
I do not.
Okay, good.
I just came from Amsterdam.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're going to be able to hear it. But...
We got enough napkins?
Do you have any kids I can see? Do you have pictures I can keep?
Yeah, that's good. We got enough napkins.
That's a pretty good pitch. Hopefully it works for the Europeans.
Why do you say that, Scott?
I don't know. It's just different. It's a different world there, like a different culture.
So I'll be brutally honest. If I get no review copies, I will still be content. Because, I'm going through all this stuff from Gen Con still. I'm shooting everything over here tomorrow. Like, I'm just massively backlogged, which is great. It's a good problem to have. But, yeah. I expected to get only bigger at Essen because I'm just a charming motherfucker. So that's the main thing.
Not like being humble.
You're still you, right?
So, can I talk about a game I got to play quickly?
What?
It's just the loops.
So that's the game.
Whatever that is, turn it off.
That's the drop thing.
No, I'm actually kind of curious. How does it actually work?
You put the cards on. They have these they have a chip in it, probably NFC or something. I don't know, but it identifies the sample. The samples are downloaded for it, but the They each have little loops. Then as you add stuff to it, it changes stuff up. This is a rainbow card, so it's going to change the tempo and stuff. But your samples from different songs.
Now, is that physically attached to the tablet, or is it just resting on top of that? How does that work?
It's just sitting there. You use the Bluetooth to connect to it.
Cool.
You change by color. There are the vocals or the different instruments, and so then you can save the mixes. But it's a battle, right? You have different. The cards have different values of the bars. Tell you how strong it is. So you're trying to, and it's a points thing. It's basically like a little. You're trying to get combos together so that you can get a larger group of a bigger jump in points and take points. That's the downer. It's a tug of war, so you're losing points and stuff. But this is like I guess this is a Rat Pack, one of the ones of the 4 that came in the thing.
Does it do like rock and country, or is it just?
It does. There's all kinds of stuff. Let's pull these off.
Now, is this going to be in Essen, or is this coming out soon?
No, it's out.
It's already out.
You can go to the store today and get it.
I just bought it at Target today.
That looks really stinking cool.
It's actually pretty neat. But the packs are going to be like $15 a pack for 16 cards, I think. And then let's see what else we got here. These are probably all pop songs. Oh yeah, here you go, Nikki. Scott, there's the one that we played.
There you go.
Gosh, it's funny. I was like, not very many vocals, but there you go. There's vocals.
Can you put 2 vocals together?
I don't. Yeah, you probably can if you do the. If you put it in the other space over here.
Yeah, so if you want to just do sound mixing, you can play with it.
Yeah,
it records your mix.
It's the guys
too.
that did Rock Band, right? So and Guitar Hero originally. So they're obviously just figuring out a way to capitalize on using their
technology.
Although I'm not hearing Batarang anymore.
I think you took it off.
No, it's there, but it changed instruments.
So one vocal does override the other.
Yeah, so it's one at a time for the vocals. But like this one this is a rainbow card, so it can go on any space, and it has the different instruments that it can do on the bottom. It's kind of neat, and then you can save your mixes and stuff like that. And there's kind of cool stuff to shift stuff around. It's neat. It's definitely an interesting piece of equipment, but I mean, it looks like obviously it's totally Guitar Hero, right? You know, Sarah Rock Band, same kind of thing. I don't think Mad Catz did the work for it though.
How much? How much was it at Target?
$100.
Oh,
yeah, it's not cheap.
Yeah. And you said it came with
you're paying for the music, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
I mean, I guess there's some technology in there with the card reading.
But it's neat, and it was in the video game section, which is funny because it really is kind of an electronic board game. It's electronic battleship.
Yeah, no.
No?
Well, I mean,
I'd say it's fun.
Yeah, that's what it is. Is it fun? Yeah, it's fun. Pass.
I bet your kids would love that, Lance. I was thinking about the 7 to 10-year-olds I work with at my school. They would go ape shit for that.
Well, yeah, my dog.
So yeah, there's $15 packs of 16 cards, and then $5 for 5 or something.
I would do it for my kids to be happy, right? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, I'm just saying, like, you poo-pooed it.
Do you have a fund that you draw from for your game stuff, or do you just do it on your own dime for the school?
What are you talking about?
For school? For me?
Yeah, for the school.
No, I just everything that I pretty much everything that is ages 12 plus, I try out on the kids. Like I've got them playing Splendor and Century Spice Road and stuff like that. But we play a lot of lighter stuff like Stop Thief. We played today, and I pretty much. But no, it's all my games. I don't have a fund. I should. That'd be great. Yeah, we need Terra Mystica for the kids. Don't ask questions.
Yeah,
a Gaia project, a little Gaia project. Antiquity.
Yeah. Roads and boats.
They're reselling Antiquity this year, guys. I don't know if you know that.
Well, I already have a copy, so.
Oh, okay. Well, if you didn't have a copy,
Lance, maybe we don't have a copy.
They haven't printed that game in like I don't even know how many years. It's been a while.
It's a good game. I would guess it'd be showing its age at this point a little bit.
Was it a revised or is it just a reprint?
I do think
My
it's just a
understanding is
reprint.
exactly the same.
Do they have a new one? Does Slaughter have a new one this year?
No.
Antiquity.
And he's did the pandemic game.
Oh,
Right. That's through Z-Man.
Yes, but I mean that's his work. He worked on it,
Yeah.
so sure that was one big thing that he was involved in.
Is it Jordan or was it the other?
It's Joram.
That's too bad because pandemic is horrible.
My statement still stands.
Everyone likes
No deck building, no pandemic, no fun.
What are you talking about? I got this in the mail today. This is awesome. This giant RPG
How is that?
book.
Wait, what? Turn that to the side again.
Oh my
How the
god!
heck do you even use that kind of thing in a game?
Compensating for something.
No, it's not at all. This is just what Frog God does. It's
nerds.
Frog God, right? I think I remember you talking about it. So that's the thing you were talking about. Like
948 pages. But here's the cool thing. Okay, so
what's the MSRP on that?
That's not the cool thing.
A lot.
900 something is not the cool thing.
No. Okay, so it's 948 pages.
Oh
right?
my god! Look, what is that?
And this is the glossary.
No. Okay, so this, however, I got this in the mail the other day. This is Zweihander, which is basically a guy's reinterpretation of the Warhammer RPG. So he kind of redid it, the Grim and Perilous RPG. So if you notice, like this is an entire RPG, right? Like all the rules, the spells, the bestiary. There's an adventure in here. This is a twisted city that has an adventure in it and a bunch of other bunch of things. Now that one's 948 pages. This one is 692. So you might be saying, well, how is that possible that like basically this one has like 300 pages less, but it's actually almost bigger? It's
Lance Howard was saying that.
Nah,
they double printed it, double the ink.
Please tell me so I can sleep tonight.
Oh, Jesus. So
they used thicker paper.
It's the quality of the paper and it's the binding. Frog God Games, they do not print hardcover books without these are like textbooks. They have like the threaded looped binding. Like, I mean, I'm not going to drop it, but you know how like if you have a book that's got the cheap glued binding basically, and if you drop it, the whole thing just shatters and like it just pops off. Like these won't do that. It's just like your textbooks you had in college where like, you know, you beat the hell out of them for, 6 months and you could still turn them in because they wouldn't break down. So they use a tighter binding and they use a higher quality paper that is tougher but also thinner as well. So
did you guys all like zone out while he was saying that? Is that what it's like? Not fun.
But let me tell you about how they
the paper bindings.
I got.
They get the ink from the Himalayan mountains.
I'd find
salt from the Himalayas.
Piss it back out. And then
this will run.
This
is not cheap. Like even the
PDF
will run you, I think, $50 or $60.
Well, those take a lot of effort.
This is
a lot of pictures.
I think it's $140 or $160 if you bought the book.
What's the name of it? Is
The Blight, and is what it's called. Basically, it's
a source book.
Well, it's got so much stuff. It's just and it reads like a novel. I mean, it's so well done. I read the PDF. They gave me access to the PDF about like a while ago, and I read it. I devoured it, and then I finally got my copy, obviously, which I was pretty excited about.
The night was moist.
I remember you telling me about this, and you asked. They did a Kickstarter, and then you wrote to them asking if I could get in on it, and they did never.
No, they never let me know one way or the other. I can still probably get you a copy though.
So, sorry.
No, I mean it's and then like
on it.
Oh no! This is this is so good. It's just amazing. But anyway,
I like reading RPGs. I don't like playing them.
Imagine like a crazy city where like you just basically have all of these like complete nutball factions. Like take
like Fargo.
Like what is it? What did somebody describe it? Like a combination of like Jack the Ripper, and Cthulhu and Piccadilly Circus is like how somebody tried to describe it. You know, just like throw all those in a blender and then make this crazy town that you can put your people in, and just they'll never have to leave a city. You could play a D&D campaign for 5 years just in that city with everything that's going on.
The hardcover is 150. The PDF is 95.
No, there you go. So
and which system did you get? They do it in 2 systems.
You can get it in Pathfinder 5e or Swords and Wizardry, which can be.
What's the best system?
Well, I'm a big Swords and Wizardry guy. Because I like Swords and Wizardry for its.
That just means like all the stats of everything is going to be in that system. That's all, really.
Yeah, I mean, Swords and Wizardry is very Ostric. It's old school revival stuff. So like if you play any of the Ostric systems, like if you play DCC, like Dungeon Crawl Classics, Castles and Crusades, Labyrinth Lord, Swords and Wizardry. There's a couple other that I'm not thinking of right now. But if you play any of those, the stats will be very, very easily portable. And the thing is that 5th edition D&D has a lot in common with OSR stuff. So you can actually, even though they're making a 5th edition version, like you can transmogrify Swords and Wizardry stuff over pretty easily. Pathfinder, it's tough. You have all those feats and abilities and things like that, and so it's a little tougher to do it. But
if you buy the book, it comes with a PDF.
Oh yeah, well of course it would. And
searchable.
I don't know if it's searchable or not. I mean,
9 books, they're fun.
For 95 bucks, it better be searchable.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure it is. I mean, they don't screw around. I mean, they're pretty good about it. Frog God Games is like they're not indie by any means, but I do think that they're like one of like the best like publishers out there that's making stuff right now. So I don't know. It's
that's cool.
Yeah, no. And then there's like a ton of other things they sent me along with it. Like there's 5 different modules for it, 2 giant maps. Here, hold on. These guys are awesome. So there's like a whole giant, another, like this is I think over 100 pages. It's a soft cover. It's just the game master guide to the town. So like if you want to do that, there are let me see if I can find it here. There's a player's handbook, and this just has all the players' information they might want to know. And this actually reads like a story as well. You can just hand this to the players, and then they can read it, and they can find out what they should know about the blight. But they also hide like the stuff that's cool. You get another a bunch of monsters that are just for the city, like because they have crazy screw up cities. And then there's 5 modules that they made to make a campaign that would take you from like level 1 to like level 20 in the so there's an adventure in the main book where it opens up, everybody makes their character, and it opens up and they're all on the gallows with a noose around their neck, and that's how it opens up. That's how you spring the situation on them. And just like, and yeah, it's
Do they know each other or no?
It's just you've been arrested for some reason, and for you've been blatantly arrested for crime you did not commit, and you're a total patsy, and that's how it.
So you don't know each other.
But you don't know each other, and then you just get thrown together. So it is
arrested.
Do the characters have backstory?
Yeah, it is a very dark and twisted world. Have you guys read any of another old school Lamentations of the Flame Princess is another old school version. If most of that guy's stuff that he writes is just twisted as hell, but this is not as twisted as that. The only other thing I want to talk about as far as RPGs go, I don't have the other book handy to show, but this is like this field guide handbook to Hot Springs Island. If you played old D&D, you might remember there was an adventure called X1. It was the Isle of the Dead, and it was fantastic. It was like totally like the people traveled to this Isle of Dread is what it was called. They traveled to the Isle of Dread, and you just got to investigate this island.
On the cover.
Yeah, it was totally. And this is kind of like that. This is the book that you actually like to run the Hot Springs Island like campaign. You actually hand this book to the players, and it's basically it's a journal that like somebody has written after being on the island, and then they come across this journal, and then they decide to travel to the island to try to discover it. And so there's like little hand drawings of the person, so it's like an explorer's journal. And then they get to like get some background as far as there's some maps in here they can look at, and it's written in like first person and like for interviews that the person did. And so then that's the whole reason. Really, really cool art. I don't know if you can see that, like this giant.
Pull it back a little bit.
Like,
yeah.
Yeah. Rick. Yeah. A Pickle Rick. Yeah. So lots of cool stuff going on. Yeah, it was a Kickstarter I backed, and it was just like it looked really cool. And this was like a first time publisher of anything, and I was just like, I will buy anything these people make because they crushed this. It was ridiculous how good they did with it. So right now there are so many people, like independent people, making really, really cool RPG stuff. It's kind of cool. Anyway, that's my RPG segment of tonight's show, and now I'm done.
That's not dark at all.
What's not dark at all?
With the news. With you wake up and you realize you're ready to be hanged. It's not dark.
No. It's a little dark and twisted, and then but it's just which is weird because I remember there was like somebody like when I played D&D a long time ago, somebody created a thing where we were all like our characters were arrested for a crime we didn't commit, and they were going to execute us, and then we had to escape. I remember that was a long time ago though. That was like
if you need them, you can hire them.
If you can find them, then maybe they'll help you.
And you can hire the A-Team.
Yeah. Anybody else? Anybody have a grievance there? By the way, we didn't do any grievance.
I don't. But I want to talk about a game I got to play that has a 7.5 rating on Board Game Geek.
Oh yeah, what's that?
I don't see how.
So it's kind of like a grievance.
Sentient.
Ooh, I'm gonna end up agreeing with you 1,000% on this, I believe, Anthony. So I will give you the table, and then I will chime in as needed.
It's okay. It's not as great as everyone makes it out to be, and it is so overproduced, which makes it an MSRP that's ridiculous for what's in the game. I like how the fact that people are talking about like, oh, there's dice where you can manipulate the dice to help you out, and I'm like, you can for the first 2 cards you play, but your other 2 cards are pretty much you have to find the card that actually fits in what you've already done with the first 2 cards. Otherwise, you're just screwed. The other thing is we played and I scored every single card in my tableau each round, but the only ones I could fit in were the ones that were worth like 3 points and 4 points, and then someone else just happened to get lucky on their roll and was able to do the 7-point cards every time. So it didn't matter. I mean, I lost the game. I thought I was doing well, but yeah, no, it's a weird game. I like the idea of it, but I just don't like the game.
Here's the thing I didn't like about it, and I honestly, it was one of those things where after we got done playing it, I was like, did I misplay this? Like, I honestly thought that maybe I screwed up and I played it wrong. And I played it at Origins, and like when you, because okay, so people understand what we're talking about. If you haven't played it, you roll your dice that you have, and then your dice get slotted into these spots, and then you have to draft these different cards that you can place into the spots that satisfy both of the dice that are next to the card.
Well, you don't have to do that, but you haven't get any points if you don't do that.
Yeah, in order to score points, you have to. So you is it 5 dice if I remember correctly? Is it 5?
It's 5 dice. You have to get 4 cards. Now the cards on them on the top left and right corner will tell you what you have to do to the dice that are on your tableau. So one may say on the right side you add a pip to that side, and you take away a pip from the other side, or add one but but leave the other one the way it is, or subtract one and leave the other one the way it is. And you can cover those up not to change the die if it's going to screw something up, because there's these little extra workers that you can use. I don't know what they even call them, robots or whatever.
Yeah, and they're used basically. The workers are kind of used to bid and things like that. But regardless, the thing that I didn't like about it was that when it was your turn, if you looked at the tableau and like there wasn't a single card for you to draft or like to take, that you would want, the only thing that you had to do one time, you could reset the cards that were there. Like, oh, I don't like any of those, let's reset them. You could do that once. And then you didn't even get to pick a card. It went to the next person. So okay.
That can't be right.
Yeah, no, that's the rule. So you take your marker. You have a marker that shows
clear the tableau then.
Okay, so Scott, see in the picture you have up right now?
Yeah.
The round marker thing up there? See how it's red and yellow in the 2? So in the round 3, yellow already passed and reset, and red then did the same thing.
I see.
That determines your turn order for the next round also if you do this. But you basically sweep it, and then later on, when it comes back around to you, then you can place one of your workers again to acquire a card.
So you sweep it, thinking, okay, fine. I don't like any of these cards. I'm going to sweep it, but then you don't get to pick any of the cards that they put down. So like you just got to hope that basically it isn't the sweeping doesn't even matter. It's just like pass.
Right. And when you're drafting the cards from, in between each of them is this little chevron that has one of the 5 card types on it. And those are your multipliers for the end of the game. So you get to score points, not based on the number of cards. You get extra points at the end of the game for having the most number of a certain one, or what, I don't even know what the hell it is. It doesn't make any sense.
No,
the dice are awesome.
Yeah, the dice are very nice, but they're dice. There's nothing special about them.
The art is cool. I like the
and the thing about the art is very cool too. But it's the same art on every card.
Yeah, that's the thing that also I didn't like was that
all of the military cards, even though they do different things on them, all have the same picture on them. All of the innovation cards all have the same thing. It's 5 pieces of art plus the art that's on your board, which is I think the same art anyway, because everyone starts with a board that already gives you one, like a +1 towards whatever thing, like a military or the technology or whatever the things are. But it's just like it's a cool idea, but there's just so much, and the fact that you like, okay, I want to get, I'm all the cards I'm getting that I can fit my tableau are all military, but none of them are anywhere near where the military chevron is. So getting my multiplier at the end isn't going to matter because I'm not going to have cards from over there because I can't fit the other one in there. It's just very weird. And I don't see why everyone is like raving about this game.
I watched it play in Origins and I was bored.
Like I could see people liking it. Like when you started playing, I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. But like playing the whole thing, and I'm sitting there going, yeah, I don't need to play this game ever again. But people are like raving, like it's amazing. And
I mean, there's only a couple 10s. I mean, it's still.
But still, 7.5.
It's not really out yet, is it? Or is it out?
I think it just came out recently, and it's like $55 MSRP for this game.
Ooh.
Because of the custom dice, and it's got spot UV on and stuff, and I don't know.
Is 7.5 a high rating, like compared to
7.5 is pretty good on BGG.
Yeah, it can be. BGGers are harsh.
And I looked through the comments. There weren't that many. There was one person. I don't think they even ranked this, but a comment saying, "Oh, I love Renegade games, and I'm definitely excited for this one." But I don't think they actually give it a rating. And you're gonna get those too. And yes, the art is really nice. The little bit of it there is, but I mean, this game, I maybe even the MSRP of it is making me dislike it more, because this is not a $55 game.
Yeah, I was not happy with my play of it. It was one of those things where it was like we all were kind of excited about it, and then we were like, eh.
Yeah, and I had heard a couple of people say things that were less than glowing, but I heard so many people saying, a whole bunch of podcasts talking about how great this game was. And how
it was played pretty
was.
heavily at the Hot Games Room, I remember.
Yeah, Origins, it was being played a lot.
It was played so much that half the pieces got lost and it was unplayable by the end of the show.
Hey, I have to ask. I was going to ask you. I got to ask you about the Hot Games Room stuff at some point for BGGCon.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like desperately. I just, what does it take for me to get a game in there?
Couple grand.
Yeah.
What?
They get voted in by the.
It's voted in by the users.
By attendees.
Oh, I got you.
10 grand will get you to the top of the list, though.
Top of the list for consideration.
Top of the list.
Well, I remember last time you told me I had to get you a copy of Yokohama for there. So I mean, what, did it get voted in or something?
Oh, you mean the Hot Games Room at Gen Con?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
the hot games section at BGGCon. Like, how do I?
2016.
No.
Oh my God, I am losing my mind, or either I'm stupid. Am I dumb? This year in November,
2017,
in Dallas, 2017.
One in a month.
They get voted in by the attendees.
Send a copy to pack some plugs.
All I want to know is what would it take to get one of our Essen titles possibly on a table in the Hot Games area?
It would most likely, I would imagine it'd probably get picked anyway, but that's usually what it is.
Which game are you thinking?
Well, we got 3 things we're releasing. We got Pioneer Days, Harvest, 4, Chimera and Exodus fleets. So I just, and we were talking about it today, and they're like, oh yeah, we should probably find it. And they just said, well, you talk to Scott all the time.
There's no process. There's no process. I mean,
all right,
basically,
you're like, that's what you're saying, right?
No, I was completely 100% joking about that.
Oh yeah, wink. I saw the wink. Yeah, I know. Okay. Yeah, no, I got it. I got you.
We can't do the Hot Games Room without you.
It's a little bit of the hot games for the users and also scarcity, right? Like if you're not, I think if you're there with a lot of copies, then it's if we only have one copy or two, like Yokohama last year, I believe we only had one copy. That was when.
Oh no, I got you.
Hey guys, I'm gonna check out. I gotta get up early tomorrow, but thanks for letting me on. I'll talk to you later.
Anytime you want to be on, Lincoln, just let me know.
Take care, guys.
Take care, bud.
Take it easy.
Talk to you.
All right, now that your employee's gone, now seriously, what does it take?
It's basically make the most in-demand game that we can't keep in the library. That makes it hot, right? There's no we don't pick it.
I hope this year I get to hear somebody get shamed again. That was I always love that. Shamed, just it's whoever has time stories, return it now. We don't care if you're only halfway through.
I'm still mad about that Carnival Zombie one. I wanted to play that. I had the perfect group for it too. It was so.
Oh yeah, you really wanted to play Carnival Zombie, didn't you? And then somebody just had it, and you had no idea where they were.
Kept it for the whole time. That's what we changed the rules based on that guy.
Really?
What was his name? Do we get to go rough him up?
I don't remember the name. I don't remember.
So let's go take
he
it to
knows
him.
who he is,
Paul McKinnon.
Yeah.
From Albuquerque, New
Mexico. From Truth or Consequences, New Mexico, the only town to change their name for a game show.
I thought we were playing a match game or
well, Well, if I could get Barry to, show his weird British ass up any
Oh.
He's busy.
Are you watching that guy on Jeopardy?
Which I don't watch TV.
So that guy,
What's his name? Austin.
Yeah, that guy. The first couple of episodes he was on, I thought he was just had this weird quirk. I work with this guy who was a little quirky like him, and I'm like, oh, he's just like that guy. And then after
Actually, don't tell me if he's still on because I'm behind a week.
He got really annoying, after 4 episodes.
I kind of warmed up to him. I warmed up to him though.
He's actually from around here. My son's high school.
Well, he cracked a joke about
that he was
high school in LA. His brother's in Afghanistan. He says we're both in desert wastelands. LA joke.
Oh,
we're talking about a champion on Jeopardy who's very good. His average is very high, maybe $25,000-$30,000 an episode or something.
Yeah, you don't want me to spoil it for you.
Don't tell me. Don't tell me
how much he won.
Don't tell me. So
So
he's done. Are you saying he's done?
He's very weird and quirky. He might be done. He might not be done. You told me how to tell you.
He also had to get off. He had to lose soon, otherwise he wouldn't make the Tournament of Champions. Because if he was going to win they were filming it soon, and if he was on the show, he could not be eligible for the Tournament of Champions.
The thing that's funny is, I think, I can't tell. Never mind.
Whatever. Anyway, yeah,
you're right. That was pretty.
I'm
funny.
5 days behind. I'm 5 days behind. What?
No, Anthony said it was funny, and then he didn't say anything. So I said, "Yeah, you're right. That is pretty funny."
Did anybody go for the Szechuan sauce?
No, I didn't.
Fuck that. God. So pissed.
Really? Is that a grievance?
Oh, that's
what, did you
great. We're talking about that.
A motherfucking
I took
grievance.
my son to McDonald's. We got there 15 minutes early. We were in the store. It got insane.
Before the store opened?
Well, they started doing it, I think, at 2 in the afternoon.
Okay.
So we were there 1:45, and we were in the store. When we got there, there's probably about 50 people in front of us. So we're like, all right, we're going to get the sauce. It's cool. My son was in the play place. I was just waiting in line because he's 4. He doesn't care. I just wanted the poster to try the sauce because I like to try whatever's hot and what's new. And my store, my entire city, which is the second largest city in Indiana, Fort Wayne. I mean, it's a legit city. Had 0 copies. They had 0 sauce. None of the 3 stores where they said there would be sauce because they had specific locations to get the sauce had sauce.
Wait,
and then they had posters.
Right, they put a website out to get the sauce.
Wait, do you know what's funny about this? Forrest, you were probably the only person who was actually going to eat the sauce.
Yeah, probably. I wanted to try. I want to see what the hubbub was about.
Everybody
but then they had posters too.
Everybody
I watched your review.
eBay.
It sounds like soy sauce, honey, and red chili flake or something.
Well, they also had posters, and that's what a lot of people wanted because they had special Szechuan sauce posters.
Yeah.
So people were stoked about that. They had 1 poster of Szechuan sauce. The worst part,
Leave it to McDonald's to have something that it legitimately makes people want to go to McDonald's, and they fuck it up.
well, here's the thing. They're
probably gonna go bankrupt over this.
Pepsi Perfect did the same thing. Who the fuck cares about Pepsi? Nobody. But when they did that Pepsi Perfect, they had vastly underestimated demand and maybe.
They had no sauce for the entire city though, and they let people stand there. People got there, I guess, 2 hours early. They knew they had no sauce whatsoever.
Maybe they thought they were going to have something else.
They didn't tell anybody. The manager's like, if we tell them they have no sauce, we're going to get killed.
Yeah.
So what did they say when the time came around?
Well, I legitimately thought there was going to be a riot. I'm not even joking. And then they started handing out free stuff. That's the only reason that people calmed down. But it was wrapped.
The manager made the right call there and said, give them free nuggets because otherwise we're going to be dead.
But it was wrapped around, the line was wrapped around the building twice. It starts, it was
so
gridlocked.
glad I did not spend a minute of time on that because I could have. I had no gaming on Saturday, and there's one very close to me
So we went to Taco Bell. I told my son we weren't going to reward them with that, so we went to Taco Bell.
And we're not going to reward them with taking their free food. We're gonna.
Well, no, they gave us free crispy butternut, whatever their new chicken strips are. They sold out of those too.
That was what they wanted people to go for, and the sauce was like a way to get people to go to the store. Like I could see them thinking in their head, like, let's get them in there.
I seriously don't think they realized how crazy this was going to be.
My wife didn't. I told her about it, and she's like,
how
"What?
Could they not?
McDonald's? No one's going to be there."
They're just idiots. Do you understand? I mean, they don't.
Who cares?
So Lego just laid off like a bunch of people, and they have this $800 Millennium Falcon that like everybody's going crazy for, and no one can buy. Like that's just a conundrum of like, I guess, capitalism now in America.
Well, it's like the Super Nintendo, the SNES things. Like everybody lost their minds, and like but you can't.
All these companies, they think do you not think you're going to sell a lot of this stuff because of the nostalgia and all the?
But you don't want to ever have them sitting on the shelf, though, either, right? So it's
called pre-order, right?
So I heard that they actually sold more the
SNES classics
than Switches in Japan.
Really? Wow.
Not surprising. It's like a Switch is like $500, isn't it?
It's $3 bills. It's $3 bills.
And that's one game.
My kids are begging me for one right now. I'm just like, you don't even. It's like you.
On the wait.
I was like, you begged for a Wii U and you played it like
twice.
One
good game.
I will say there's one other thing about that Szechuan sauce that's really crappy. Did you guys know that's not connected with Rick and Morty at all? Like McDonald's.
It's in the episode.
That was from Mulan from years ago.
No. I know it's in the episode, but McDonald's did not.
No, it was really from Mulan.
No. But McDonald's did not reach out to Rick and Morty to work together with this. No part of this is connected to Rick and Morty at all. They have carefully.
They just basically. They didn't even get the art. Is the art not actually Rick and Morty art?
They got art that is very, very close.
Does it say Rick and Morty anywhere?
No, it's not connected to Rick and Morty at all. They're doing this.
It just says one sauce, but it's like just a ripoff.
Yeah,
really?
It's a little bit shady. It's borderline shady. I thought it was really interesting.
Why, Moon Man?
Has anybody tried sauce, by the way? Because I want to try it.
Man.
Go watch a review. Go watch a video review. There's like 1 million of them on YouTube, and you'll get the exact same experience.
Video reviews are stupid.
Food video review. Do you guys watch food video review? Anybody besides me?
I watch Damn Drop sometimes. I like him.
Damn Drop?
Yeah. He's this guy who sits in his car and eats fast food.
Wait, are you talking about Joey? No.
No, DAYM Drops. He's a really famous YouTuber.
I thought you're really famous.
I cannot believe. We're in the wrong review business, by the way.
Oh, no joke.
Games, like this guy, every video gets like 1 million views. It's unbelievable.
Well, when you're reviewing food too, it's different. I mean, if you reviewed the new thing from Wendy's, I mean, you got a lot more people interested than Onitama or something.
It's kind of crazy how much.
Well, it's like my son watching those videos about toys. Watching other kids play toys.
Talk about open the box, yeah.
Oh yeah, it's just like 27 million views to look at.
It's like watching people play video games.
I like this picture.
Now people watch people play football. So I mean, I don't know. That's true. I mean, it's that's what people like. Yeah. So
put a GoPro on your dashboard. Go buy a $1.99 sandwich or whatever. Ooh, that looks not good.
That looks great.
And eat it and tell everybody what you think.
Yeah.
There you go. There's a lot of these. I mean, man, YouTube has just changed the world.
Well, it's just, and then my kids are like, we want a YouTube channel. You're not having a YouTube channel. I'm just like, no chance on earth.
Burn out after a month, man. That's how it works.
No, they all sit there. My son did it. My son's like, oh, yeah, we're going to be like the next Rooster Teeth. I'm like, yeah, no, you're not.
No.
Yeah, you can do anything you want except the things that, I tell you can't. Because I know what you're thinking.
It's not that. It's just the fact that you were not going to get that level of success that they have. Because they did it when no one else was doing it. And they did it, and they did it a different way, and they were funny and all that. And people just, it's like every once in a while.
I don't think the gold rush is over, but like it's definitely an uphill battle.
Yeah. You ever see like that Watch Mojo channel?
Yeah.
Every once in a while, I'll click on one just like I want to see what they think the top 10 of whatever it is. Yeah. And it's usually so bad, but then all of a sudden it's like you look and there's like they got 6 million views, and I'm like, man. And then there's like 8 other channels that do the exact same thing as them. The worst ones are the ones where the voice is robotic.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate
the
those.
people don't even want to do their own voices.
They do it. They do it, and if they run it through something, because I guess the people don't speak English. I don't know why they do it, but I was watching one yesterday. It was some weird mystery thing involving celebrities, and one of the ones was about how Dan Aykroyd and his UFO thing. But of course, they ran it through the computer. So it's like actor comedian Dan Aykroyd. Like Aykroyd, it's Aykroyd. Aykroyd said, and then the other one was that like famous murders involving celebrities and stuff, and Mark Ruffalo's brother. And it's like actor Mark Ruffalo.
I think you should let your kids do a channel, man. You never know, Lance.
No, I do not need creepos.
Well, maybe
my
maybe
10-year-old daughter.
If they're not, maybe just not have her picture video, just her arms or whatever.
Hmm.
What does she want to do? She wants to do video games?
No, I don't know. She just wants to do something, and then just like
And then here's a video, Caleb. I hit you in the head with a garbage can.
Yeah.
My son does reviews with me, and he really enjoys that. And that's really improved his verbal skills, I found, especially when he's younger. I mean, obviously at 10, it's a completely different ball game, but I mean, my son wants to do it. I'd say go for it. But having a girl is way different than having a boy, obviously.
Yeah. You mentioned that Mark Ruffalo's his brother. That's still unsolved, right? They still have no idea.
Still no clue.
What happened?
Like it was in like 2006 or 7 or something.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Mark Ruffalo's
brother
was just shot he was at his house and he was just shot in the head and then like he never regained consciousness and he died like a couple days later, and they just have no idea why. It's one of those shitty things.
Yeah, they had that on there. They had what other one I was watching? Bob Crane, our favorite topic.
Are they just taking news stories and like digitizing them to get like Google search juice or something?
No, I think the people whose voices they're using, they're reading it phonetically. It all gets done phonetically, but it sounds it's all robotic.
But it's not computer generated.
There's 2 different voices they use. One's a male voice, and that one sounds more pure computer. But the woman's voice, I guess they're using a really good, computer reading software thing. But it's definitely they're reading it phonetically. But yeah, the Bob Crane one came up in one of those videos, and I'm sitting there. What's his name? Stood trial for it.
Are you using a Logitech camera by chance?
Am I using a Logitech camera?
Yeah, because it's like out of focus.
It's this ASDOM count. It's AUSDOM.
ASDOM. What?
ASDOM.
ASDOM.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes
it's like a little because there's a Logitech setting in the focus, like you can manually set it.
Yeah, no, this one every so often does this weird thing where it's.
Oh, that's better.
Yeah, I move it around.
There you go. Yeah, you're sharper.
Yeah, I am. Thank you. Thank you for noticing.
I cut. Nah, I don't know.
I left it that way on purpose. I noticed it before. I left it that way on purpose because Sabuki and the people in the chat were talking about it. And I said it was artsy. I was using a.
Oh, you were using a Vaseline.
So like, I think you shot through Vaseline. And I'm like, oh, that's the lighting. It's artsy. I just didn't feel like trying to put it in focus. Didn't matter. You want to see my face anyway.
Hey, Luca, how are you doing?
Pretty good. Pretty good. I was debating.
How's the Kickstarter going?
Sorry?
How's the Kickstarter going?
Good. So far, we have a pretty good launch. Yeah, I was pretty impressed with what we got so far. So it's pretty good.
Cool.
It's giving me a lot of stress,
like
obviously, but it's one of those things, you know.
I imagine.
Yeah, that's what it is. Actually, I don't know if I should be saying this or anything, but I got a rash, and I was checking what it is, and it's actually a stress rash. So I have like physical proof. Yeah, that Kickstarters are stressful. I went to the doctor.
You can't say that. Sorry.
I can't say.
You didn't know if you should say it. You can't say that.
Oh, okay, I can't say I got a rash. Okay.
Yeah.
Where did you get your medical degree?
Pretty bad. But overall, it's pretty good. It's going good. Like people are sharing it and they're talking about it and stuff like that. So it's cool. You know.
Reminds me of the Speed Racer movie.
Yeah, it's true.
The remake.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it was only one.
Movie didn't get the praise it should have.
That was a horrible movie.
See?
I'm a huge fan of that movie. I actually haven't seen it. I need to watch it.
It's fun. It's a fun movie.
Why is it hard? It was hard. What you say, Lance?
Yeah, you gotta like cars. You gotta like that.
No, I don't. Why do I gotta like that? What are you, Anthony, telling you what I gotta like and feel?
Hey.
Paris is a dirty city.
It helps. It is. You like that stuff. If you don't like it, I mean, yeah, it's gonna be like, just a bunch of colors.
If you don't like it, then you can fucking go to hell.
It's not for everybody. It's different. It's different.
Hey, Lance, are you gonna back that Joan of Arc game? Got a lot of minis.
I don't know. Yes,
you are.
No, I don't think I will actually. It's one of those things where it's like, it's got some really cool minis, but it's such a small there's such a small scale. I mean, I would I want that dragon mini. I don't even know why though.
The dragon is $60. The dragon is amazing. I saw it up close. I'm like, how do they?
Yeah, we all did. We were at con too. We were all there. I'm a little worried because I think the dragon might have been like a resin proof, which means that it was much more finely articulated than the one that we're gonna get. It's weird. It's like Reaper Bones. Like I have like 1,000 bajillion Reaper Bones minis, and I used to think they were good enough. And now that I'm started getting into Warhammer, and I see just
Workshop.
What?
Games Workshop are the best in the business.
Oh yeah. So now that I'm like painting up my my Chaos armies, I'm just kind of like, man, these freaking minis are amazing. I'm just like absolutely astounded by how good they are, and I'm just like, I'll take out like a Bones mini. I'll like, this is shit. I just like I don't even want to look at them. So I don't know. It's one of those things. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, it's hard to know what their minis are going to come out of.
Yeah.
Right,
so
I said it perfectly. The Bones minis were good enough for what you were using them for.
But the price was super cheap.
Yeah.
Like if you're using them for
like $75 for one character, and
if you're using them for RPGs and they're on the table for one, battle sequence,
hey,
that's fine.
Don't tell me what to think.
I will tell you whatever the hell. Hey, if I want any shit out of you, I'll squeeze your head.
Yeah, I don't know.
You'll like it.
Tell me my business, devil woman.
I have a question for you guys.
Okay.
It's a bit off topic there, but because it was something that
Well then moving on.
Oh, the Good Wife.
It's something that happened to me today on my Kickstarter with a bunch of like reviewers, and since I got you guys are a lot of reviewers, so I figured I'd ask and find out what you guys think, because on my Kickstarter I have this thing where if you're a blogger or if you have a website or something, if you pledge, then I'll put your logo in the rulebook, and I thought that was a cool thing, but a lot of reviewers backlashed on Facebook and told me that it was a bad thing and I shouldn't do that, and it's like being arrogant. It's like, oh, you're taking our logo because we're buying your game, but I thought it was something that I was doing, as a
innocently.
Yeah, like
I mean,
you guys are pledging.
So here's the deal.
Thanks for the support.
So as soon as you put someone's logo into your product, you're basically saying they endorse you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that may not be the truth, right? Because they don't know what the game is, and
Look, the thing is,
I mean, they bought the game, but that doesn't necessarily mean they want to. Yeah.
No, because in the rulebook I was gonna have like a little section, thanks for the support from these bloggers. It's like it was gonna be clear. It's not just a logo I would throw in there. I've done it for Street Kings, and people were like, the people were super happy with how that turned out. And
with which?
With the
Street
Kings. Yeah. I put
But were those reviewers or were those just the supporters or just the backers?
I did both. I did for all the pledgers' names I put in the rulebook, and I put all the supporters that did like like a review or something. Yeah, like the Board Game Geek logo is in there, but it's clearly written. Thank you for your support. And that Vikings logo. I thought it was something cool. Like if I was a reviewer, that I would like that. If I supported the game, they would put me somewhere like saying, "Oh, we got supported by." But
it's a weird line, right? It's a weird line because
one of the things you're also battling is things that other people did before, which wasn't so innocent. As far as reviewers and their Kickstarters, and they're oh, if you do this, we'll do this, and so I mean, yes, people who don't know, they may look at it and go, oh my God, they're trying to get people to back the game, to get to say, oh yeah, we backed that game. Like that's the whole thing with the I backed such and such tweet, when you tweet it out or you put it on Facebook. No one knows what you pledged.
Right.
So
you just give $1 and you already
Right, but that's the whole thing. I can tweet out I can say, oh, I pledged for Neon Knights, and people who follow me were like, oh, wow, Anthony pledged money for this game. He must like it. But yeah, I may have pledged $1 just to say, hey, here, Luca, here's $1 for support, and then people see my name. But like that's sort of disingenuous, and I guess that's the feeling that people are getting maybe from doing something like that. Like you're trying to get them to back the game to get their logo, to get exposure, and that's the way they're looking at it. Like, oh, let's see, I could buy advertising from my site on the thing, or I could just back your game and you'll stick my name and logo in the thing for people to see. I don't know. It's just it's a fine line. And there's a gray area in there. So and again, stuff's happened in the past with other publishers with how they try to do things to get buzz for their products. That you're probably a victim of circumstance more than anything else.
Okay. Because I was thinking of it as a reviewer myself, I would like it'd be cool to back a product and have my logo in there, my website and stuff. For me, it's advertisement, but I see where you're coming, where people might think that they're endorsing it when they're just giving $1, like you said, or whatever.
I think people like to bitch on that group too a lot.
Like some people might.
I mean,
some people
let's be honest here.
What group are you talking
about? A lot
about?
of bitching on that group.
The Board Game Reviewers group. Well,
oh my God,
you know who one of the admins is. That's why. But,
yeah, I mean it's.
Who's the admin?
Go look it
There's
up.
2 admins now. Knee-jerk reaction.
I think I left that group, honestly.
All right, so here, give me an example of that group. So today, someone had posted, maybe it was yesterday, they posted something about the fact that they've been doing reviews like 2 years on YouTube.
How many years?
Like 2 years they've been doing
2 years.
reviews, and their numbers are like very low and all that. And I can't find it now for us. How did I respond to him? I said I don't mean this to sound rude, but I have no idea who you are. I guess that's kind of my point. Like, you need to get out there. You need to let people know who you are.
What was Lance's takeaway from his video that he did? Do it for the love of it, not for the money or the fame.
Do it for the money and the fame. But then,
if that's what you want to do.
But then do it hardcore. I mean, like, then make it a job and do your research as to how you are. I mean, there's YouTube videos out there about how to make your money doing YouTube videos. I mean, it's just like, do your due diligence, and if you want to do it for money, then do it for frickin' money and figure out a way to do it. And then if you're not making any money on it, find out why you're not making any money and change. But if you're doing it because you want to have 5, 6, 7,000 subscribers, then and have everybody interacting with you and have like fame, board game fame or something. I mean, and I'm not like going, you're stupid for wanting that. I'm just like, but then you can't just make a video every week and just expect it to happen anymore.
This is what I wrote. Okay, this isn't meant to sound harsh, but I have no clue who you are. And that's sort of my point. Building an audience isn't always about the content you put out, but your place in the community. If you become a part of, quote unquote, the scene, people start pointing their audiences towards you, building your social media game, and it can help grow your audience immensely. And then Maurice had commented earlier, said, also, as Maurice said, if you do this because you enjoy doing it, then keep doing it. If views or download numbers become that important, then go spend that time playing games just for the enjoyment of them.
I just read another thing.
I think I just found the post that you were referencing, actually.
But I had no idea who that person was. That's a good statement. But I there's people who aren't quote unquote famous reviewers who I know who they are because I went looking for, I just typed in such and such game, and theirs came up because there was only a handful of them out there, and theirs was one of them. And I watched it whether I knew who they were or not, because sometimes they get something out on a game that isn't the hotness. That they put a video and no one else had one out, and I'll go watch it. And the thing about it is, I don't need it to be all fancy bells and whistles, with splashes and things sliding across the screen and animation and all that. But there's a couple of people, I haven't even looked, they're still doing it, they're probably still doing it, who make some of the worst videos. The worst.
I'm right here, asshole.
No, not you.
The voice inflection was perfect.
Laurence Olivier compared to these people. And it baffles me that they keep going, and they keep, like, I see them at conventions. Well, I didn't see them this year, but I've seen them like going out and asking for review copies, and I'm sitting there going, dude, go look at their videos. This is not going to sell a single game for you because it's just a jumbled mess. The camera angle is horrendous. It's blurry. It's like worse than my camera here. It's like so bad, and I'm like, people are giving them review copies. I mean, you have to go and see who these people are. Like, there are people who don't have big audiences that I really like, and some of those people then they start getting bigger. You start seeing them like I know his last name. Tom
Vassal.
Slicker Drips. No, the kid from the UK.
Oh, actual LOL?
No. His name's Tom. He goes by Slicker Drips as his screen name.
No idea.
But I like his videos. I like his reviews. There's another guy from there who has a large following who I don't like his reviews. But it's like But I know both of them. They both are on social media. They both run in the same circles I run in, and not because they have been there for so long. They just got involved, and people started seeing them. And I see other people go, "Hey, I just watched so and so's video. It's really good." Blah blah blah. And that's how you build an audience. Sometimes it's not necessarily what you do. I said there's like 3 ways to build an audience. You either have to know somebody who's going to turn people to you. You have to do something so outlandish that you become fodder and people go and check you out. Or you just have to be lucky.
Or all 3.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, pay extra to have the game before anybody else and do the review.
Yeah.
Well, I look at my channel, like especially how I used to run it, and I used to have blurry stuff. I used to have it so that you could only hear, if you had headphones on, you could only hear out of one speaker. Like it was so dog and pony for a while, and people still kept subscribing. I mean, it still kept going. So I mean, who the hell knows?
You were also reviewing stuff that other people weren't reviewing, though, back then.
Yeah, that's true. Obscure as hell.
Look at this.
Shirt tails. Blank.
Forrest went to Amsterdam, and after he left 2 days later, his mind was a complete
blank.
Family Game of the Year.
Well, you know, team.
By the way, the new version of London is still fantastic. By the way, Lance, we got that to the table tonight. I love that game.
The new version of London.
Yes,
I'll have to get a copy of it.
It's a deck building game. Not gonna be.
I'm smitten. I want to play it right now.
It's not a deck building game.
He's smitten.
I have the original.
What?
It's not a deck building game. Is it? Tableau. It's a tableau builder.
That's
tableau builder.
Not much different than the deck.
Different paths to victory. I liked it.
Hey, I'm gonna get going in a minute. Name. But Lance,
I was gonna shut it down here in a minute anyway. So
when does Downfall launch?
October 17th.
Okay.
Right during Essen, huh?
Oh, I got a grievance.
Why during Essen?
Well, we're obviously going to have copies, like demo copies, at Essen to show off.
Oh, okay.
They're a funny guy.
It's called marketing.
Yeah.
I hate when people reach out to me in Kickstarter videos 6 days before the Kickstarter launches.
That far ahead?
On advertising 1 day before the Kickstarter launches.
That far ahead? I have people who like I even tweeted about the other day. People like email me and they're like, "Hey, we launched a Kickstarter a little while ago. It's not doing so good. Could you share it with your your listeners and followers?"
Oh, that's the worst.
And I replied back to the guy the other day. I was like, literally like, "You want me to share that your Kickstarter isn't doing very good? You got it."
Done.
Hey, Bob's Kickstarter sucks. He just wanted me to let you know.
Kickstarter. It's done so much good for the hobby.
It's done a lot for the hobby.
Yeah, done a lot of good.
And it's provided us with a lot of entertainment as well.
Yeah. Heard from the Pinky guy lately?
The Pinky guy? No, I have not.
Has the Pinky guy done an update yet?
No, he hasn't done one. You know, why don't you check your fucking email? You can find out.
Haven't heard from that guy in
oh my gosh. Days. Wow, Lance. I guess we need some apart time.
No, I don't. Yeah, it's just one of those things where, yeah, I think. Well, he bared his soul, and I think that bought him a few months, right?
Yeah.
You know, so.
Oh, no question.
I did have a grievance, but it's a little political. So,
Do it.
All right, let's go. Let's do this.
It's about the Second Amendment and what happened in Vegas a couple weeks
ago. See you guys.
No, look at that. He's already.
I believe in the Second Amendment. I own weapons. I own several. But when they wrote that amendment, they had no clue what an M16 was. They had no clue what these weapons, these military weapons were. And this guy should never have owned 15 or whatever the fuck it was that he had, So if it were a black guy or a Hispanic guy or whatever, he would have never been able to bought whatever many he owned and shot all these.
Why? Are you
people.
trying to say that they're poor or something, or what?
No, they were never legally. I don't think they would have ever been able to purchase that many.
Why? Do you think they wouldn't let him? I mean, if he had the money, I don't think the color of their skin would have mattered at all. It isn't like you walk into a gun store and say, "Here's my $3,000. I'd like that rifle." They wouldn't say no, thank you.
The color of his skin definitely changes the narrative, though.
Yes, I believe that.
Well, if it hadn't been a 64-year-old affluent white man who had done it, and it had been a minority, yes, for whatever reason that would have mattered, right? If it had been, that would have mattered so much more for some whatever reason. And it would be a completely different story. But no part of me believes that, maybe, but I just can't see you. I don't know how he purchased them. I don't know if he went to gun shows. I don't know if he, bought them online or whatever.
A store. From what I understand, he just walked into a gun dealer.
Well, and if you walk into a gun dealer and you wait the 3 days or whatever it is to do it, and you walk in and, I want that rifle. Oh, okay, it's $2,500. And I don't think it matters what color your skin is. You put $2,500 on the table. The guy isn't going to say, you can keep your money. He's going to say, okay, cool. Come back in 3 days after we do a background check. And
that's my point. As much as I believe in the Second Amendment and all that, I do not believe you should be able to go into a store or online or anywhere else and buy a semi-auto or an automatic rifle.
Well, they aren't automatic. They aren't automatic.
Or a semi-automatic for that matter.
He modified that gun to make it automatic.
Yeah, but still, I don't believe you should be able to buy anything, in my opinion, anything that holds more than 6 shots. It's unnecessary, in my opinion. Buy anything.
What if you're a really bad hunter, man?
You don't need anything, seriously.
I agree. Yeah. I agree. And it's all bullshit. Like the fact that but the thing is, it's terrible. It's never going to change because everybody's in the pocket of the NRA on both sides.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Because I've read a lot about it. It's everybody agrees for the most part, percentage-wise. Everybody agrees we need to do something about gun reform. Either more testing or more this, more that. But the NRA is just no, nothing, absolutely nothing. We will concede nothing, and unfortunately, it's not going to change.
No, it's not that they won't concede nothing. It's the only way you stop this stuff from happening is what they're not going to go into, because basically all of these people who bought their guns legally and then went one day and flipped for whatever reason and did whatever they did, in order to stop this, you literally have to treat this like a job where you have to have a physical every year, where you're required to do your job to have a physical every year, every 6 months. So you would need to get everyone who has a gun and basically mentally evaluate them every week.
Yeah.
Every week.
That seems a bit extreme.
But that's the point. So the only way to do it is you say, well, no one can have them.
No, it's not that black and white. There's small steps that you can take.
That's the point. That's the point. Is the NRA would be fine if you had some way to do it. But there's no way to do it because it's not like physical health, where once a year you go for a physical and they find stuff, or you're not feeling well. Mental health is things that can happen literally overnight. How do you stop that? How do you police that?
Well, you don't go backwards. Our president just signed into it, what was it, earlier this year, that allowed now people with mental health issues to get these guns. Yeah. Whereas before we were like, no, that just doesn't seem like a good idea. He's actually going backwards on the fucking topic. And I think, Lance, you posted, and I was reading about it, was it one of the fucknuts at Fox News had a really great idea, which was just a 30-year prison sentence minimum if you get caught using a gun crime. I think
Yeah,
that
no,
would reduce-
idiot Bill O'Reilly. I mean, I think that's actually make any crime committed with a gun, and that includes selling it to somebody you shouldn't, or buying one when you aren't allowed to. Make it a mandatory sentence, and make the mandatory sentence so fucking long that we're gonna basically like either we're gonna scare people into not doing it, or the ones that do the fucking crimes go away. Yeah, and we don't see them anymore. You know, and that's it's just and the one thing I really hate, and I'm sorry we're getting political, the one thing I really hate about it is when people are just like, they're like, well, we have to do something. Okay, well then tell me what we should do. Because,
and that's the thing, the answer is get rid of it.
Let me finish this. Let me finish my thoughts here. Like, do you know how ingrained our gun culture is in this country? Look at all of the movies we have. Look at all the TV shows we have. Look at how we make gun violence look cool and awesome, and we just make it fine, right? We've gotten to this point where it's like, okay, and most people don't own guns, right? Most people don't. It's just the people that do own guns, it's like they tend to have a lot of like that's their thing, right? Like look at your board game collection. It's probably it's thousands of dollars worth of board games. If you decided, you know what, I really like handguns, you could own 4 or 5 or 6 handguns for that same amount of money, just because that was your thing, right? And then that would be it. And it's just and I have serious problems because like the vast majority of people that own weapons will never harm another human being with them, including themselves. They won't nobody will ever get harmed by the guns that they have. And so when you have somebody that does something as horrific and as awful as this, you're talking about, okay, so this one person did this, so let's restrict the rights of 99.999% of everybody else. Now that just doesn't, I mean, and I understand if it was like my nephew had friends that were at that concert who got shot. Thankfully they're both still alive. But I mean, it's and that makes it more real for me. And it's one of those things. And like he actually got invited to that concert, and he was like, oh, I don't like country western music, I'm not gonna go, and it was like, so like I try to put myself in this thing of like, I'm almost positive my mentality would change if somebody that I knew was thoughtlessly murdered for this. But it's one of these things where it's like, we don't like, even look at like Facebook for like a week. That's all it was. Guns. We gotta stop guns. Now all of a sudden, now we're talking about Star Wars trailers. Nobody cares. Yeah. They've moved on. It's something that nobody even considers as it bothers them anymore.
But then people like bringing up then we should get rid of cars because cars.
Well, that's the dumbest argument of all time.
I'm saying, but like here, let's use actual fact. Okay, the guys who set off the bomb at the Boston Marathon got all the stuff they needed to make that bomb at Walmart.
Yeah.
Timothy McVeigh blew up a building with stuff you could get at Home Depot.
Yeah.
If someone literally wants to go and cause that much harm to that many people, they're going to find a way.
And see, but here's the thing. It shouldn't be about the mass shootings, though. That's why I really like the 30-year minimum sentence. Yes, mass shootings and mass killings are going to happen no matter what, unfortunately. But I live by Chicago, and every weekend, 10, 20 people are getting gunned down. That's the gun crime that I'm more concerned about.
Well, and that's the thing is that,
and those are all done with legally purchased firearms.
And the thing that's crazy is that it's like, they're like, oh well, it's like, well, that's too strict. It was like, well, the only people, if as long as you're playing by the rules and you're not committing a crime, then you don't have to worry about it, right? You're not going to go away for 30 years because you're not shooting somebody in this.
You have to be very specific with that rule because if someone comes on your this 30-year thing, because you can be convicted of a gun crime and not actually hurt anybody. But you're saying any crime committed with a gun is 30 years.
Yes.
No, it wasn't. I didn't say like you sell a weapon to somebody else, illegally. You 3 years. You walk into a convenience store with a gun and rob it. You don't shoot anybody, but you have a gun on you.
Okay. So
minimum of 10. That kind of thing.
If someone's trying to break into my house and I go out on my front porch and fire my gun into the air, that is a crime.
Then don't do it.
I've discharged a firearm in public. That is a crime. Do I go to jail for 30 years?
No,
anybody.
Yes. You would have to figure out. But I mean, the thing is that just don't do it, right? I mean,
but this is again, all like the Kabuki was saying, and the thing. This is where the whole 3-strike rule thing came in, and basically, people were going to jail for years and years for like BS crimes for the most part because your third offense, that's it, you're out, 3 strikes.
Then don't commit the offense.
Okay.
How tough is it just to not commit a fucking crime?
No.
I feel
the point is
so much stuff because people. I feel like most of the murders that happen are not premeditated. It's a stupid fight. It's bullshit happens and somebody gets shot. But if you knew that having that gun could potentially get you 30 years in prison minimum, I think there'd be a lot less guns out on the street. Even people who have conceal and carries, which I'm all for, would still be a little bit wary about it. And that's what we should be.
No, this isn't my point, though. My point is, what does the average American need with an AR-15 or, a semi-automatic weapon?
So this was something that was brought up. Someone was talking about this whole thing and how, even the police didn't have such and such and such. I said, do you realize that the majority of the weapons the police have in their arsenal are because criminals had them first?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Thompson submachine guns, criminals had before the police had. Bulletproof vests, criminals had before the police had. 9mm, criminals had before the police had. Right. So if you're going to break into my house and you have an illegal submachine gun, an Uzi or whatever, I should be able to defend my house with the same firepower.
Well, the reason the criminals had all this is because the United States Army sold them to the public back in the day. But that's a different. Anyway.
Right, but the point is, if you take the right to own these things away from law-abiding citizens, and again, everybody who has committed a crime at one time in their life was a law-abiding citizen.
Sure.
Circumstance or whatever is what brought them to that. No one came out of their mother's womb and held up the people in the delivery room. All right? So, again, you're to take my ability to have a gun away, but the people out there who want to harm me are going to be able to still have guns that they did not acquire legally.
I'm not saying take your guns away. I'm saying why do we need semi-automatic weapons? Why do we need somebody out there with a clip that can hold 50 bolts?
And there's, that's one of those things too. And I think that honestly what needs to happen is like real honest discussions about what weapons are allowed and what weapons aren't, and it would take a lot of fucking time, and I'm not saying it wouldn't be difficult, but you get our lawmakers in somewhere, and you just basically say, go down the list, right, and debate it, figure out what kind of weapons are allowed, what kind of are extended clips allowed, and you just figure out what can be okay and can be not be okay, and then. And this is the really, really tough part here, and I'll fully admit that it is like the nearly impossible part. How do you get those guns that are already sold and in possession of people? How do you get them back? Everybody's like, "Well, Australia did it." Well, Australia had a very small fraction of the same amount of weapons that we have, and they also bought them back, right? There's no way we can afford, even if we were giving them 20 cents on the dollar. We probably wouldn't have the ability to buy those guns back from people just for the sheer cost of it. And you can't tell somebody is like, well, I have a gun collection of and I spent like 60 grand on it. And you want like 90% of it and you're going to give me $100. screw you, and it's just like, and the other thing is like, okay, so they don't want to give up their guns. Well, you're going to have to take them back. And how are you going to take them back? You're going to take them back with people with guns that are going to take them back. It's just, it's a shitty situation. And the thing that really, really bothers me is that, like I said, everybody wants to say, can't we do something? Then come up with something. Come up with a plan. If you can come up with a plan, I mean, I'm fully admitting I don't have a good idea. Like I said, like my one idea that I like is the mandatory sentencing for things, because it will be a deterrent. It will, like, people are like, it might not be the best idea, for me to carry this gun with me wherever I go in case I get arrested for something stupid. It's going to be something like that, where it's just like, it's going to be, and the people that are going to be dumb with their weapons, that are going to be problems, are going to be put away. And I just, we don't have a good way of getting rid of it. And I had people come down on me, many times where I said things like, we can't stop it. Like the same thing as you said, Anthony. We can't stop these moments of planned violence that these horrific individuals partake in. It's just, everybody wants to talk, oh, we need more, mental awareness, for people that have mental problems, things like that. Okay, where's this money coming from too? And it's one of those things where it's like, what, if people still, like, the moment after it happens and everybody's very passionate and talking about it, if they maintain that, and if you could actually get people to say, you know what, go to their lawmakers, go to the senators, go to their governors, and say, you need to effing do something about this, or we're going to vote you out of office and put somebody in. And if you actually got people to care that much that they would do that, then things would change. But nobody cares that much. Like I said, they're already have moved on. They're talking about the new Star Wars trailer. It's just, it's like they'll.
Well, I think that all stems from how corrupt our political system is. Because they know 99% of what they do is not going to matter. You talk about how you could go talk to your congressman, say whatever, but it's Democrats and it's Republicans with the NRA.
And they're going to say whatever you need to say until they get elected again.
Right.
Yeah.
But you know what? But like I said, if everybody that was that incensed and that horrified over what happened, myself included, like, made it a point to call their congressman, like, every day, email every other day, like, go to town hall meetings, do protests, and everybody, you're telling me that if like you could get, like, basically, like, that many people, like, constantly saying, fix this or you're gone. And then when the next person gets in, you have one job, you need to fix this or you're gone. Because politicians and their parties care about one thing: being elected and then staying elected. Yeah. And if you make it a point that it is something that has to be fixed, they will fix it. It's because they don't want to leave where they are. It's just, but nobody cares. And I'll fully admit, I have, you get to a certain point of, exhaustion with it. Right. And you're just like, I can't care about this anymore. I just, I've got a mortgage, I've got kids, I've got a life, and I just have to kind of just move forward and do the best I possibly can to, keep my, life going the right direction and protect my family and do the best for myself. And that's all you have the ability to do. Right. And it's just because you have to just, move forward and just wait for the next really, really horrible thing. And the thing is, media is another thing. Just just fucking glamorize it. You get these idiots that just, I'm nobody knows who I am. Just the first thing that should happen is just, like, pass some sort of law where, like, make him a Voldemort. You're not allowed to say his name. It's posted anywhere.
It's funny that we can't show the guy running naked across the football field on TV, but we can give these lunatics all the glory that they wanted in the first place.
Just bury him in an unmarked grave and move on.
It's kind of like my favorite scene in the movie Just Cause. When he asks him, he said, "I went to go see your parents," and he knows that they were already been killed, and he just wants to hear it from the cop, and he's like, "How do they look? How do they smell?" Yeah. And Sean Connery goes, "They said they forgive you," and he's like, "You can't do." He gets all upset because the fact that he doesn't get that moment of satisfaction knowing that his parents are dead. And that's all he wanted was to hear it. And Sean Connery did not give him the satisfaction of it. He said, "You can't do that to me. You can't leave me like that." And Sean Connery will not let him do it. But that's the whole thing. Like, you want to know all this? Yeah. John Doe. Everyone will be John Doe, Jane Doe, or that's it. That's who you are.
Yeah. And just erase them, right? Yeah. Take all of their information and just erase it.
Here's the problem with the world, and I said it on here once before. This is nothing new. People, and this is my other thing. One second. That people like, this is terrorism. This was not terrorism. Terrorism has a reason why you do this, because you're trying to make people fearful that it's going to happen again for the same reason. And this guy just, whatever it was, we're never going to know exactly what happened, just snapped. He said, "I'm going to take myself out, and I'm going to take a bunch of people with me." And back in the good old days, when something happened, you lost your job, your wife left you, and you were so upset and all that, you went home and you shot yourself in the head. You didn't have to take anybody else out with you because the media didn't care. They weren't doing this whole thing on TV and, breaking in and this and that and all that. Because this is all the crap you live in now. Everyone wants their 15 minutes of fame, even if it's to be an asshole like this.
Yeah.
I talked about like mental health stuff on my podcast recently, and you know what? I've never wanted to tell people, to harm themselves. But if you get to that point where you are going to harm yourself and decide to take some people with you, just do yourself in. At that point, you were just a you'll get sympathy from people. That thing that you wanted while you were alive, you'll get. Oh my God, Joe Smith killed himself. He must have had a lot of pain. Not Joe Smith is the asshole that killed a bunch of innocent people and then offed himself. All right, and on that note, good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good.
Yeah, I gotta go to bed too, man.
I do agree with you, Barry. I think the fact that the best argument against semi-automatic weapons is if somebody has an AK-47 and they're breaking into my house, I should have an AK-47 too. I agree. Because I mean, there's not really too many other arguments. I mean, that is a valid one, but aside from that.
There was a time, and some people still say it, I don't think it's as true these with some of these people who commit crimes, but there was a time when your best home defense was owning a shotgun with no live rounds.
Yeah.
Because in the dark, hearing the click of a pump shotgun is friggin' scary as all hell.
Yeah.
At least it used to be.
Not anymore.
All right. And on that note, this has been a very special episode of the Weekly Alaboom.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. Blah 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 blah.
Lose her virginity.
Go back, Neon Knights. Help Luca's game get published and play a fun little racing game.
Yeah. And I'll send you a copy for review, Lance.
Oh, sweet. Thanks, bud.
Sure. For sure, if we fund. But yeah, it's coming your way. For sure.
And then wish Cheech well. No, we'll talk to Cheech next week. Never mind. So we don't need to wish Cheech well just yet. So good night, everybody.
Good night.